Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God, Undertaker!
What is up, everyone? Welcome to a special edition to Ruckus Wrastlin. I am your host, Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing, sir?
Doing great. I mean, we are on the verge of one of the biggest weekends in wrestling. It's WrestleMania weekend. Now that WrestleMania is a two-night affair over Saturday and Sunday. And again, also you got NXT Stand and Deliver on top of that. So it's
yeah.
It's lots to talk about today.
But yeah, and we've got a special guest, one of our great friends of the Fans Talk Sports Network, Bobby Melendez, will be joining us a little bit shortly as we preview and go over the card of all cards that people are saying it is. Now, that will only be see what time will tell on how the results are. But so far, this card is amazing to me, from my 2 cents on it. But let's do a couple of things. Let's give some love to the other things that are coming up other than just this big weekend for WrestleMania. So let's go over AEW real quick. We're a wrestling loving show, not a WWE, not a AEW. We're a wrestling loving show. So we still want to give love to the products that have happened. Obviously, if you come here for news, WrestleMania is the big news of it all. It's just a different, like once a week, we probably won't do news. So I'm sorry if you came here to see what CM Punk said about AEW. You can go on the internet and look at that. We're not going to be talking about that today because we have a special show. So just kind of go over real quick as we highlight AEW. We'll go to Stand and Deliver this card real quick. Then we'll bring on our very special guest and go over the card.
Okay. Well, as far as AEW Dynamite, I thought it was a solid show. It wasn't. It was because we had a really good run after the Revolution pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Those 3 Dynamites in a row were really damn good. This one was kind of like it was okay at best, just because of some of the flow. I mean, it didn't help that we had speaking of the CM Punk thing, Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, coming out to cut a promo that was basically a very obvious. We're responding to what CM Punk said in his interview this week without referencing it whatsoever. Rallying the troops, rah, 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 AEW is awesome. And I didn't think that was absolutely necessary. Because as soon as he started talking, I knew exactly why he was saying. I was like, okay, no. Tony had him go out there because of CM Punk. So. I'm sure he had no problem doing it. Obviously, him and a lot of other wrestlers are happy with AEW, and stuff like that. And I get that. And, there is good things about AEW. It's good that we have another major wrestling company.
Alternative that was their big pitch coming out. So.
We haven't had that. We haven't had a legit alternate since the days of NWA, WCW, all through the Attitude Era. But it wasn't really necessary. We had some good matches though. I mean, we had Ospreay versus Hobbs. Ospreay, of course, was going to win. He's not losing yet. So the match was great, but it's just I'm like, why does Hobbs need to do the job right now? Same thing with like what's happened with Wargo lately. Why are you having the big meaty men who can slap meat doing the jobs to other people when they should be getting the big pushes? So that's my only complaint about that. The same thing with Danielson taking on Lance Archer because they're him and Ospreay are trying to one up each other at this point, build their title match. And Jericho Hook stuff, and I didn't really care for it. I'm kind of like Jericho's kind of become a little tired for me, and I'm a gigantic Chris Jericho guy since his WCW, so that's saying a lot. The Switchblade stuff, it was weird. That daddy ass match, it's like that feud is continuing to heat up between Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. Don't understand the heel turn that happened with the Best Friends.
Whatever.
That was I don't know. I think that may be a mistake. They're a very popular babyface act. I don't know. I have major reservations about Trent doing that heel turn on Orange Cassidy and stuff. So we'll see where it goes. But I was just like, it was definitely a WTF moment. Thunder Rosa becoming number one contender. That's good. Hopefully they can build a really good thing because, Rosa has a legit reason to want that title shot because as remember, she was out for over a year because of a back injury and she had to forfeit the women's title. So she never lost the title. She had to forfeit it. So, she feels that, hey, that's rightly my title that Tony Storm has. So they really should do a good job of building around that, hopefully, in the next couple weeks leading up to pay-per-view. So that was good. And, this closing segment, though, with Samoa Joe and Swerve.
That was awesome.
The show ended on a high note. Great promo work. The leaving him a bloody mess and then him signing the contract in his blood. And Joe's like shocked reaction of that, so I was like, is that the best you got, dude?
Right.
That was excellent. Good end to the show. So overall, not like the best on it, right, compared to what we had the last couple weeks, but it was all right.
Right. No, and I like the Edge thing was kind of to me. It was kind of just petty a little bit. With what the CM Punk stuff, but it's fine. But Ospreay's awesome. It was a fun match there. I'm liking what they're doing with Thunder. People were giving crap to Mercedes going after TNT title. I think that's a better way of just slowly getting her through the division rather than immediately put her against Tony. We didn't like it when she did that with Deanna. And then that Swerve Joe.
Oh, that's right, the Mercedes. Yeah, it's very obvious it's very obvious they are keeping Mercedes away from Timeless Tony for as long as possible. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're having her go for the mid card women's title, the TBS title, instead of the women's world title. Because if she goes for that, then as much as we love Timeless Tony is going to be doing the job.
Right. Right. So, but overall that Swerve segment was nuts. So, and that Diddy line, that was a good one. So that's all we got for AEW. Let's go to the Stand and Deliver card, when does it start?
It starts at noontime on Saturday Eastern time.
Okay. So if you're a fan of wrestling, you've got literally a full day of wrestling, a 2-hour gap, and then WrestleMania night 1 starts. For that, we have 5 matches or 6?
We have 1, 2, 3. We have 7 matches, 6 on the main show, and a 1 pre-match show that's going to be on the pre-show.
Okay.
So the pre-match show match was just booked this week on this week's show. Joe Gacy versus Shawn Spears, Battle of the Crazies.
Okay.
Because they've been going back and forth. And Spears took him out with a chair this week before his match with Obafemi. And he went to Ava and basically was like, I want to fight Joe Gacy. And she said, okay, you can fight him on the pre-show. So not sure who's going to win that. I would think Spears, because Spears just got back. Weird for him. He already did one job to Dijak, which was really weird, but it was kind of because Gacy was messing with him. So my guess is that Spears is going to win that one.
Gotcha.
All right, then we get to the main card. Another match that just was added just this week before we get to the title matches and Trick Mello. It's a 6-woman tag. Thea Hale, Chase U teaming with Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan, taking on the heel alliance of JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. It's kind of been building back and forth because Kalani and Fallon have been going back and forth with Kiana James and Izzy Dame. And then for some reason, Kiana and her are now helping out JC Jane and because her and Thea Hale had the falling out. So it's kind of like they took 2 separate feuds and kind of like fused them together so that they could just have this 6-woman tag match. My guess is the Bayface are going to win this one, most likely.
Probably. I
But,
haven't watched this feud. I'm waiting for you to get to the one I like.
yeah, of course. Yeah. Then we have the first title match. NXT Tag Team titles are on the line. The Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin defending against the team of Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
Surprising that they went with this.
Yeah, I thought Too Sweet had this in the bag, the Good Brothers, but Nathan Frazier and Axiom pulled off the upset. Was not expecting them to win this title match, especially with the back and forth between the Wolf Dogs and the Good Brothers lately. So I don't know what's going on there. You would think Nathan and Axiom are going to win the titles.
I don't think so, unless the OC and Tama Tonga really screw them over.
Unless the OC does a screw job, because it's only a matter of time, because they can't keep because Braun's already on SmackDown. They can't keep him in having him have 1 foot in NXT and 1 foot on SmackDown. Eventually, he's got to move completely off of NXT and be on SmackDown full time. So him and Corbin, as awesome as the Wolf Dogs have been, eventually they're gonna have to lose the titles. And so this one could go either way. I don't know. I'm gonna lean toward Axiom and Frazier for the upset, but
I think it's an OC situation that happens there.
I can see them costing them the titles for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have a triple threat for the North American title. Obafemi defending against Dijak and Josh Briggs. They've done a good job building up these guys. This little mini feud between them last few weeks. My heart wants Dijak to win because Dijak is freaking awesome. He's been killing it lately. He's getting really over. He's been there a long time. I've been a long time fan of him back when he was just Dominic Dijakovic, when him and Keith Lee were putting on like 5-star bangers back in the Black and Gold era. But my head says Obafemi because he just got the title. He's getting the big push and he's got a lot of potential. So I don't see Obafemi losing the title just yet. As much as I want Dijak to win the title, I want to see gold around his waist. I think Obafemi is going to retain.
Yeah, I do too. I saw his entrance and he's getting over a lot.
Okay. All right. Then we got the big one of the big ones. This has been building for quite some time. NXT Women's Title match. Lyra Valkyria defending against Roxanne Perez, who has recently turned heel, and has started to really gel with the heel character work. This week's segment with them on the Metaphors Talk Show, their back and forth was really good between the both of them. They both did a really good job building up the style match. Loved the fire from Valkyria for I've had enough of your shit, and she put her Roxanne through the table. I was like, dang, it is on. So I've been looking forward. I would say both of us have been looking forward to this match for quite some time because this guy here. Sorry, he's a big time Roxanne fan, and so am I. And I've also become a big fan of Lyra as well. I think she's got sky's the limit for her. I think she's got a lot of potential. They obviously seen it. She's had a pretty good run with the title. It's been over 6 months. So,
I expect this to really.
It's like this is where I'm torn because it's like love to see Lyra have the title a little bit longer, but I have the feeling that Roxanne is not being called up yet.
Nope.
So I see Roxanne winning this is what I'm going to go with. Just barely.
It's basically not really because Lyra doesn't deserve to hold it for a little bit longer. It's the fact of we've been talking about since Cora Jade got hurt and Tiffany Stratton. I think the plan was to have Roxanne basically maybe get to NXT and then or either link up with Cora Jade or at least go.
That report came out this week that apparently the original plan was that Roxanne was going to turn heel and her and Cora Jade were going to reunite and as a heel duo.
Right.
Before Cora tore her ACL. So whether or not one of them was going to face Lyra at First Stand and Deliver. It looked like it was going to be Cora because they were pushing her hard before she got injured because she was winning match after match. But then not long after that, they started sowing the seeds of Roxanne's heel turn not long after she went down. So that was probably going to be the plan anyway because they said that they wanted to turn heel and have the team up, but they had to. It's like they're like, no, we got to have Roxanne slide in as being the big heel challenger. So,
I expect Roxanne to win. No bias aside, too. I expect Roxanne to win.
She's this I think they have the potential to have one of the best matches on the show. I really hope that they both kill it.
Yeah.
Then second to last, normally the NXT Championship will be the main event, but not for this card. Ilya Dragunov is going to be defending the NXT title against the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo of the D'Angelo family.
Mm-hmm.
This has been an interesting build for this feud. People kind of came to like the D'Angelo family in a face way, but now he's had to get more heelish and be more, bring out more of the dark side of being like a mafia guy to try to take the title from Ilya. They've had some really good back and forth. As much as I like how the Tony characters evolved in both in the ring and out of the ring, I don't see Ilya dropping the title just yet. So I'm saying Ilya retains.
Yeah, I would say Ilya probably retains at this point. I'm with you.
I don't think they're going to have him leave NXT just yet. Whoever's going to take the title from him is either going to be Trick or someone else that they're high on. Because
it's going to be Trick or maybe Oba if he drops the NXT title. Because I just don't, because Melo's going. It's Trick. I'm not. All right, we'll get to Trick and Melo in here in a second.
Yeah. So I mean, Trick is not getting called up just yet. So I totally see them wanting to give him a title run before he gets called up to the main roster, just because of how over he is. I mean, it's like you got to do it. You got to give him the ball and let him run with it and see what happens. So
sure.
So the main event, as everyone wanted it to be, because of the build over all these months to this moment, has been amazing. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes, the grudge match. Everyone's been looking forward to this match, who are regular NXT watchers for a long time. They've built this up fantastically. There was a while where I felt like it was getting the heel turn from Melo was getting dragged out just a little bit, but then the execution was dead on friggin' target, and everything since then has been awesome. The hype packages, the promos, just been killing it. Everyone is psyched for this match, and I think it's going to, in the words of the title of the show, deliver. And there's no doubt Trick Williams is winning this match because Melo is about to go to the main roster. So he's gonna go out putting over his bud in this grudge match.
Yep, for sure. I mean this build is I haven't been invested in as much as the DIY feud, but that feud went on for like 8 years. It felt like. So this one was a little bit more quicker. But I mean, it was the turn is really what the build was. It wasn't the turn and then this crazy blood feud. It was much more the turn feud and then turn timing, and then we have Trick Melo. So it's just a little bit different build, but still has that same gravitas about it.
Absolutely.
With that. So, any other last comments before we bring on our very special guest?
No, I think this NXT card is really friggin' strong. Lot of banger match potential on this show. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be a nice warm up before we get to Mania itself later in the evening on Saturday.
All right, perfect. Well, let's bring on our very special guest. I'm so happy to have him on. One of my good buddies. We talk a lot of everything as far as sports and wrestling. And then I said, hey man, would you love to come on? We'd love to have someone else on because it's WrestleMania weekend. And he was like, sure. So let's welcome on Bobby, as he says his last name, as we call him, Fins Talk, which I kind of snuck him in, didn't let Justin know that he's a big Dolphins fan and Justin being a big Bills fan, but here we are. So how's that?
Oh, good.
We'll live. We'll get through this.
Yeah. Well, Bobby, appreciate you jumping on here. I've jumped on your show. We talked about the Cowboys and how they're, and then the Dolphins. The season the season ended the way both teams were. We were the Spider-Man meme. But yeah, Bobby, just kind of tell us a little bit. You were talking about how you always been in love with wrestling, and you took your daughter to a bunch of Raws, and I forgot who you told me who her favorite wrestler is, or if she has one at this point. But just
her favorite, yeah. So okay, well for me, yeah, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. I mean, started off really with WCW. That's really where was my bread and butter growing up. I mean, Hollywood Hogan, Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan were my favorites. Never really watched the Attitude Era until towards the end of WCW. That's when I started getting into WWF. The golden age of WWF I watched when I was growing up from Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. I'd rent the old WrestleManias and do that. But of course, after WCW folded, was squarely in WWF, WWE eventually. Took my kids to, I've been to the WrestleMania. I've been to one WrestleMania. And I saw it was supposed to be the retirement match of Ric Flair, which was a great match. Great. Yeah, I saw that live in nice. Orlando. Been to multiple pay-per-views. Went to the Royal Rumble where Rey Mysterio won in honor of Eddie Guerrero. Been to a couple WCW Nitros when I was a kid. So yeah, no, I've been all over, and then now integrating into my children. My son is a diehard wrestling fan. He loves Rey Mysterio, loves Hulk Hogan. We kind of fell off of that a little bit, but we were having a routine where, and he still wants to do that. And we watched one recently, but every night for dinner, he would come in and he'd sit with me in my room where everybody, all the family sitting eating dinner in the dining room. We're in my bedroom sitting down in the chairs watching Monday Nitro from when Lex Luger started off when Lex Luger showed up, and we've been watching every Nitro. So yeah, so for him, it's brand. I know what's going to happen. He knows eventually what's going to happen, but to him, it's like, oh look at that! Oh, they had the giant mummy, which was that showed up. I don't know if you guys remember that. So it's like Yeti. It's so the Yeti, yeah. You see Savage and Sting, and they're having a fight about Luger and is Luger. What's up with Luger? And it's so cool. But I'm watching it like that's like Monday Night Raw, and I'm watching that with him. Man. And it's nostalgic for me.
Yeah. That's gotta be so cool. It's going to be fun watching him watch the birth of the NWO and the Hulk Hogan heel turn. How he's going to react to that. That's good.
Dude. Awesome. Yeah, and I asked him the other day, like, because before it's Rey Mysterio, he loves Rey Mysterio. But I have a Hulk Hogan DVD, and, I have a DVD player in my car. So wherever we go, he's always plugging that in, and I could hear Tony Schiavone in my background go, oh my gosh, So I asked him the other day, I was like, hey man, who's your favorite wrestler? Like, he goes, Hulk Hogan. Duh. I'm like, whoa, what? I'm like, all right, hell yeah. But my daughter, diehard Judgment Day fan, loves Dominic Mysterio. Help me God, I can, dude, I'll tell you. And huge Rhea Ripley fan, which is a thing my wife can't stand right now because Rhea Ripley's mommy. So Audrey's always saying, mommy would never do that. My wife's like, what are you talking about? And she goes, no, I'm talking about mommy Rhea Ripley. And my wife's like, there's only one mommy. So my kids are really into it right now. And that helps me. First of all, wrestling in general, no matter how you feel about AEW, about WWE for sure right now is like going up. I mean, wrestling in general, it feels like it did back in the day. I mean, it is electric. I mean, my kids keep me in it, and which I was always watch wrestling, but you know how you kind of sway away a little bit, life carries on. My kids are so into it that I hear them screaming, so I go out and I watch, CM Punk when he came back at the end of War Games. And you hear all the stories. He came out and said his thing on the podcast the other day. I was kind of like, dude, he can come, he can go, I could care, less. He did it in WWF, did it in WWE, did it in AEW, but when my kids screamed, when they heard that music and the arena blew up, I went, holy, that's the best feeling in the world. Really, like when you're watching wrestling, when wrestling does that to you, that's when like The Rock. I mean, easily people get annoyed. People have been like, what the hell? But now you're like, this is so, and he's changing his music every week, and you still get goosebumps listening to it. Great time to be wrestling with TNA. Me and my wife, we were friends first. We went to Full Sail University in Winter Springs, and TNA. I did.
Home NXT. Nice.
Yes, dude. It happened right after I left. That's what pisses me off about. That's why I don't watch that crap. That's why I don't watch it. I'm hurt. because they started NXT in Full Sail right after I left. My wife and I moved to Tennessee, and all of a sudden it became huge. And I'm like, what? Because I could have probably, because they hook you up with your my wife's an alumni. I didn't get to finish, but I'm sure I would have been able to get there anyway. But growing up in Orlando, I was a friend with an inspiring professional wrestler, and he's a huge TNA guy, just like some people are huge AEW people. And he would go to every TNA event, and TNA would give free tickets. You register online, you hop on, and then you're first come, first serve. So you get up in the front row. So in our group, our social group, we would go. And I remember we were in the front row. Dude, I had Sting go like this to me with the bat. Dude, it was like the greatest feeling. Kurt Angle spat at me, but he was cool. Booker T did 5-time. Kevin Nash, I mean, we were right in the front row. I mean, and Scott Steiner, my friend, were like this. My old roommate was trying to give him the Wolfpack sign, and Scott was coming up, and this guy went the hell out of here and smacked his hand. Oh, fuck you! No. And he was laughing, and he went. And after the match, when the show was over, he came up to do that to us. So my friend went, "Okay, man, okay." And my friend went, "F out of here!" Smacked his hand. It was just great memories, dude. So love wrestling. I'm very excited about how WrestleMania is turning out. I think this could be one of the biggest WrestleManias in a long time. Huge.
Yeah. I mean, we and Justin, one show that people have been calling this the Renaissance era, because they've been trying to call it a new era, Renaissance era. That's kind of what I like, because it is kind of a renaissance of, people are like, you're hearing a lot of promos of wrestling is cool now. Like Roman was kind of ribbing at Cody about it. It was like, it's cool now, and it's because of me. But then you had to come drone the tribal chief. But then Edge, even though he kind of did the like, it's still cool here, but he's still like, everyone is sitting there saying like, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Yes.
The tribalism is the one thing me and Justin don't like. We're just, like we said at the beginning of the show, we're a wrestling show. We're not a TNA show. We're not a WWE show. We're a wrestling show. Now, granted, yes, TNA still exists. We still might, but New Japan still, if this was the height of the Bullet Club, we might be talking more about in New Japan, but that lasted, back in the day. We're still talking about a lot of Bullet Club members, because I mean, I feel like 80% of main wrestlers now were in the Bullet Club at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just a great time. And you ready? You already getting in this card?
Let's hit it.
Okay,
brother.
now the first thing I will say, I saw that, but it wasn't on the card that Triple H did. Aren't they still doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
On SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't on the Triple H card. Okay, that's what I figured. All right, cool. So let's do that. Let's get my producing skills going here, and we'll just start with the first thing here. We have basically the main card like the WrestleMania debut of Jade Cargill. So now they have been slow burning her to make sure that when she gets in the ring, it's going to be kind of a polished thing. As we saw, if anyone's watched her in AEW, she had it. I mean, she oozed everything that you would want in a wrestler, but she was a little green in the ring. So that's why I feel like they're taking their time with her. But we've got Bianca and Naomi against Damage Control. And I mean, this kind of was thrown together kind of last minute, but I'm excited for it. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, this has potential to be a fun match. I don't know if it's going to be like one of the best matches of the show. It's like depending on how much time they give it, but I mean, this is a smart way for them to give Jade not only her normal match debut, because like the Rumble was her big debut in WWE, but now this is like she's gonna have her first like regular match on WrestleMania, which is also huge. So there's a lot of pressure there, because they made a big deal of her coming over from AEW to come to WWE, and it's like they've been teasing her for quite a while and stuff like that. And I think it's smart that they're putting her in the ring with 5 of the best women's wrestlers on the roster, especially on the SmackDown side. I mean, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Kairi Warriors kill it. Dakota Kai can kill it, and we know Naomi and Bianca can kill it. It's like she's in the ring with some of the best. So that's going to help her look good. And I think this is really going to give an opportunity for her to shine, because I'm totally seeing that, they're going to build toward like a hot tag, and she's going to come in and just completely destroy Damage Control. It's like she's going to be a wrecking machine. So, yeah, I think the baby faces are winning this match for sure. You know, Jade Cargill is not losing her normal match debut on WrestleMania at all. So,
Yeah, and Bobby.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, I mean, he took the words right out of my mouth. I agree with him 100%. I mean, he, 5 unbelievable, and I'm not including Jade. I mean, I think Jade is amazing, and I'm excited for her, and I think WWE is really working hard, as Justin has said, to pump her up. I mean, they're slow burning her, and they put her in with Naomi and Bianca as their partners. I mean, that's a mega team right there to the left. I mean, that is a freaking. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be an. I think. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a show stealer, but I could see it with a lot. What I love about WWE is the storytelling within the match, and I think this has a lot of storytelling. And I agree. I think she's not going to tag in right away. I think she's going to come in hot tag, dominate, and whoever they're going to decide to let her. They're going to win. She's going to get the pin, and it's going to be an epic moment to finish it out.
Yeah, and isn't this Dakota Kai's first WrestleMania?
Yes, actually, it is.
I believe it is. Yeah.
So that's. I mean. She was out of the WWE, and then Bayley was like, "Give me her back," and Triple H was like, "Okay," and it was kind of like that. That's how it kind of went, wasn't it, Justin? Obviously, Triple H wanted his people back. Number one, when he finally got a little creative control, but it's kind of crazy how she went from gone back, knee injury, WrestleMania.
Yeah, and this is Naomi's first WrestleMania in 2 years, because the last one was when her and Sasha won the tag titles,
right?
And not long after that is when the whole thing happened where they walked out. Yeah, I can't remember if Dakota just didn't wrestle or she got injured before Mania last year. I can't remember exactly.
I thought she was hurt.
She was hurt.
I think she was.
Hurt,
yeah. So she missed out wrestling last year. So yeah, I'm happy for Dakota to finally be on WrestleMania. It's like it's a long time coming, and so yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, going to the next one here. Is this build has been weird, to say the least. We were expecting probably Chad Gable, which is kind of weird, depending on how 2023 kind of went for Sami Zayn. But Bobby, just kind of tell me what your over thoughts are. To me, this is kind of a shaky build. I didn't mind the Rocky, thing with him and Gable. But this one kind of seems a little forced. But Bobby, your thoughts?
Yeah. So look, love Sami Zayn as a performer. Love what he's been able to do. What he did with the Bloodline. Gunther is like another level. I just love to see his development, and he seems like a real legitimate, at least his character, kind of like Samoa Joe, like a legitimate tough guy you do not want to get in the ring with. I 100% expected Chad Gable to be in this role, and I really wanted that to be the match. And if it was Chad Gable versus Gunther, my prediction would be Chad Gable to finally finish, quote unquote, his story.
Right.
Because it's Sami Zayn, I'm hoping Gunther continues. I think you can't first of all, I can't see Sami win the Intercontinental title, and I also can't see Gunther dropping it to Sami. And I agree with you 100%. This is one of those rare misses by WWE recently, in my opinion. Now, not saying they can't blow it up, blow off the roof, because these are two great performers, and they probably will. It just doesn't seem the right match. This should have been Gable and Gunther. That's my opinion.
Gotcha. Justin?
Yeah, I agree with Bobby. Storyline wise, it should have been Chad because of what happened previously between him and Gunther. That's where I thought they were going. I get though why they went with Sami, because obviously Sami is a bigger name and maybe a little bit more over with the fans than Chad for a Mania match. But I still feel the same way that this should have been Chad Gable. As much as I love both these guys, I've been a big fan of Gunther ever since he came into WWE when he was in NXT UK. I'm a ring general fan for life. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, period. Sammy's awesome. Been a big fan of his for a long time. So these two are going to kill it. There's no doubt about it. This match is going to be like approaching like 5-star level. It's like, that's like they can easily get there. It's just that I'm not as enthusiastic for it as I would have if it was Chad, because I don't see Sammy winning, and I honestly I don't want him to win because he doesn't need the Intercontinental title. He's been Intercontinental champion multiple times already. He doesn't need that. He should be in the world title picture.
100%.
That's what he should be.
100%.
He should have the world title around his waist within the next year. Seriously.
I think he should have, and I don't want to. I understand that, and that's what I love about the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. Their story, I understand they have a plan in place, and I'm just trying to enjoy the ride. But Sammy and Jay should have probably took that title. I think it would have meant so much more. Same as Cody possibly winning this weekend would mean a lot. He had that opportunity, and hopefully he gets a chance if after WrestleMania with maybe the World Heavyweight title. But something to remember, though, about this match, behind this, behind the scenes before the whole thing with McMahon and all that, with the Lesnar, this was supposed to be Gunther versus Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of where they were headed. So, and that's the quick thing. Who would you have expected if it was Lesnar versus Gunther for the IT title? Who would you have expected to win? It probably would have been Gunther, because is Lesnar going to carry the IC title? Would have never made sense.
No.
So I mean, I understand, like they already had a match in mind with, we're saying, Chad Gable, but this was supposed to be Lesnar versus Gunther, which would have been an awesome match, powerhouse. But that ends up falling on the wayside. Then you go, okay, everybody says Chad Gable, and everybody loves Sami Zayn. I don't think there's anybody, whether you're a wrestling fan or just love his character, that hates Sami Zayn. I know he felt a little offended because a lot of fans were not happy about this. So I expect them to try to steal night one, which is a lot of good matches that could steal night one. But I could see them trying to do that. Just to exceed expectations.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think they were trying to pivot as much as they could after the Lesnar stuff came out. And the fact that they did all the vignettes with Gable and then still didn't give him this match, because technically Sammy is a bigger wrestler. The storyline just didn't call for it. The Rock's bigger than Cody Rhodes. The story didn't call for it. And so, and that Sammy had it, and they were saying, he was taken back about how I was like, dude, I had like the best year ever in 2023, even though he didn't win the title, but he had like his best year, ever. And he still, and then he gets this match with Gunther, which I think they're just going to go out there and be like, we're going to just to it. I just hope they don't have like Gable come out, and I just hope this is clean, just one-on-one, let them do their thing.
If Gable like turns on Sammy, that would be also a bad call, because it's like I agree that I think the original plan, obviously they wanted Brock Gunther, and in that scenario, no way Gunther was going to drop the title to Brock. So obviously that means that they don't want Gunther to drop the IC title just yet. No. Even though once he does, he's going to be right in the world title discussion, and it's only a matter of time before he has the world heavyweight championship around his waist. I have no doubt about my mind, because we know Triple H loves this man. So, and with this historic title reign, it's very clear that this has been to build him up so that when he goes into the world title picture, people will be afraid. Whoever he's going to go after, it's like, I think you're losing your title, dude. So yeah, no, Gunther is going to keep the historic IC title reign going, and just make sure it's clean. Sammy's going to give him everything he's got, but it's just not going to be enough. Despite the Rocky 3 setup that they did with him and Chad this last week, which I thought was brilliant. I thought that the whole thing between them was great. It's like I was like, this is so Rocky 3, and I love it because I'm a big Rocky fan, and Rocky 3 is one of my favorite of the franchise. So I was feeling the Rocky vibes. He was being the Apollo to Sammy's Rocky, but it's like unlike Rocky and Rocky 3 when he overcame Mr. T, Sammy's not going to do that with Gunther. So.
No, and they even, someone did make, which I'm not going to play because I don't want to get copywritten, but someone did put the Rocky theme over that vignette. So it definitely worked there. Let's get to some of the comments here. So yeah, best weekend. Oh, I don't mean to. Bobby, you're blind. Oh no, Bobby, we lost Bobby.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, so
I
yeah,
like Wilson from
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, from Toolman. Yeah, there you go. Home improvement. Home improvement style. So best weekend for pro wrestling fans. Yeah, I mean it's nuts.
Absolutely.
What's going on? Jerry Miller, thanks very much.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah, we will get into weakest match going into WrestleMania. Yeah, let's just go ahead and I know we're building the card, but we can go ahead and answer that real quick. What do you think is kind of like okay, fine?
Are you asking which one, or are you which we're sticking?
I mean, if you can give which one, or do you want to hold off until we just when
no,
it comes
it's
up?
good. We could do it. Let me just make sure I'm not overlooking.
There's 13 matches. So
yeah, that's what
I know.
Yeah, look at this.
So, man, okay. I'm gonna say this one, even though there's a close second, but I would probably say the Philadelphia Street Fight. I'm gonna say that one. It seems like it just was thrown in there, and I love Bobby Lashley and Karrion Kross. I think has so much potential, but that's one of them. The second one, because I just don't. It seems like they didn't have a spot for him and they just had to throw him in somewhere. Was the Rey Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic. We knew that Santo and Rey Mysterio were kind of going to have that match. I think they had another plan for Dominic, and it didn't work out, whatever that plan was. And so they're like, okay, let's just throw him randomly back in the Rey Mysterio storyline. And it's like, you're kind of wasting it, you know? And I know I made a joke about freaking Dominic. My daughter had a crush on Dominic earlier, and I hope he does get beat and all this whatnot. But it's like, you could use him for something else for sure. And so that match is a close thing. And the only reason why I won't say that's the one is because Rey Mysterio it's Rey Mysterio. And I know they're going to put on one hell of a match. That's going to be a great match. It's going to be fun.
Especially Dragon Lee. He's so good. And
that match is going to kill. Yeah, I agree. I was feeling that because it should have been, I was expecting just Santos versus Rey 1-on-1, and then they turned into a tag match. So I'm kind of just like, it felt like that. Well, we need to give Dom and Dragon Lee something. So it's like they got thrown into the feud to so they could have an excuse to have the tag match. The one that I originally was like the most like indifferent to was AJ versus LA Knight, because I'm like, why is LA Knight not in the title match? Yeah. He's one of the most over baby faces in the company, and I get why they're doing the feud with AJ because everything has happened, but I just felt like, I'm like, man, why? It's like, why can't you give LA Knight why isn't he in the U.S. title picture yet? Or, it's like, because he can't be in the world title picture, unfortunately. But the build to their feud has kind of won me over, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to that match. Whereas, like, the Rey and Dragon Lee versus Santos and Dominic definitely felt like it was thrown together last minute, like the street fight. So it's kind of like I'm waffling between the street fight between the Pride and the Final Testament and that tag match as being the ones I'm the least excited for.
And hey, by the way, guys, do you know Carlito's still in the LWO? And they just like, oh, by the way, Dragon Lee, come on out, like be in WrestleMania.
Well,
like,
I was gonna wait until I wanted to wait until that.
All right, we'll wait till that. I
have something for that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, maybe they might do it. We'll get to that. We'll get to that comment there. Let's just see. Yeah, no, I did like the Carmella-verse trick. Has been one of the best builds. It's a different DIY type of build, but it still was pretty good.
Yep.
Tushka, he's sorry to be a Chiefs fan. Yeah, we don't like him. That kid. On that, someone else knew about the Yeti. That was a little before my time, and I watched it. I just remember like the old WCW days when like the Legion of Doom or whatever it was, where they sucked Hulk Hogan like into their lair, and he just goes, "There's no Hulkamaniacs here. Oh, Hulkamaniacs here." And I'm like, that is the most cheesiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, it's cheesy as hell, man. You watch those old WCW, it's cheesy. It's same thing with like WWF. They talk about WWF being kids. But I mean, again, it's just nostalgic. I remember going to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video and renting the old WWF or WCW. That's why people say like, "Oh, that's before your time." But you have to understand, I used to love watching those movies. I used to sit there and like, what do you call it? Student of the game, or whatever you want to call it. I love watching those old things. And man, I'll tell you something. The Legion of Doom with the Yeti, but what's this guy's name? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting. The little wrestler, the blonde wrestler who was in charge of that. What was his name? He had the yellow and red trunks, blonde, long hair. I'm trying to remember. He's an agent now. I think he was in AEW as an agent. He was married to Nancy Benoit before Chris Benoit.
Oh, Kevin Sullivan.
That guy.
Yeah, he was the head of the. Yeah, he was the head of the Dungeon of Doom.
Dungeon.
I mean, I could take that
I
guy
know Legion of
seriously.
Doom was DC. I don't know what the heck I was doing.
No, you're good. It's all good. But yeah, man.
Give Taylor's comment about Dom Andre because I'm thinking the same thing because I was expecting something with Dom and Andrade on this card, and also Andrade now on WrestleMania. He just came back. WTF?
Right. And thanks, Steven, for showing up. Thank you.
Is he? I think he's in the Andre Battle Royal tomorrow.
He is. He is. Okay. Yeah.
But still, that's like he should be.
Well, you see, here's the issue. Here's the issue with that. Even though they put 2 nights at WrestleMania, like it's kind of like AEW, right? It's like there's so much. There's only so much to go around. Yeah. You know. Yeah. With WrestleMania, it's like okay, like you're right. Andrade should be on the card. He's talented. He's a good wrestler. He's a good storyteller. That's always, and I guess that comes from the WWE side for me, or it's the storytelling. I love a build up and a feud and the match, kind of like. But it's like okay, now I know who I would take off. Yeah, you put Dom versus Andrade, take off the street fight. But then you go okay, what about Bobby Lashley? That's a former world's champion. You left him off WrestleMania. All right, well, let's find another match and take that off. Or you could have fit him in the undisputed tag team title match. Could have figured something out there, But DIY and was it Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate could have got rid of one of those teams. I think.
I mean, yeah. Have the Street Profits there. Real quickly, and then the tag match. As far as the triple threat, with Asuka and the Kabuki Warriors.
I think, it's a little odd, but I there's not any real team that I feel like is a threat to them right now, and they're still kind of trying to build up the women's tag division. So I think they're going to have Asuka and Kairi hold on to those titles for a while to give it try to help build up the legitimacy of it again. So I'm not. That's why I wasn't. I was like, I thought that's odd, but I'm not surprised because I didn't picture because they haven't had any feud going on that would justify having a tag title match on Mania anyway. So
right. All
right, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, let's. Well, we were kind of already talking. Well, let's go to
the
six-pack ladder match. Which going into it, we were thinking it was going to be the Awesome Truth versus the Judgment Day on how they were building it. But a 6-man ladder match is a 6-man ladder match without the Street Profits or basically without Montez Ford. So you have that, but Justin, I know that this is a kind of crazy, different swerve that we were thinking. We were thinking it was going to be more of a ladder match for Gunther in the Intercontinental title, and that way Gunther doesn't take a pin, doesn't basically lose straight up, doesn't do anything, and then have the Awesome Truth. But the way they've been booking the Awesome Truth is very much more a comedy act, and just having them straight up beat the Judgment Day, I think would hurt them. But Justin, just kind of give us what you think they're going to do here, and how much are you looking really forward to this?
Because I thought that it's like one of my ideas. I thought it would be good was have the IC title be contested in a ladder match because they had so many people trying to challenge Gunther that I could see being plugged in there. Not just like Sammy and Chad, but Bronson Reed or Ricochet, and that it seemed like with what's going on that Ms. Truth versus Judgment Day for the tag titles was the logical match. But then they did this. So I made me like, okay, why? Well, I think it's more than just we want to get as many people on the card as possible kind of thing. I think they just want to create something memorable. It's like, there's been a lot of classic ladder match stuff that have happened at Mania, whether, we got Sean Razor, TLC number 2 at X7, the Money in the Bank matches on Mania before it became its own pay-per-view thing. So, and plus you got some of the best tag teams involved here. It's like New Day is New Day. I mean, it's like they're legends at this point. DIY, awesome. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, awesome. It's like heck, even Theory and Waller are really good. Even though they're kind of a new team, they're both really, really damn good wrestlers. So you got a lot of potential for this match to kick ass. I'm just wondering, like, okay, is Miz and Truth going to win the titles, or will they do what I really want, is have DIY take the titles instead? Because I can totally see where it looks like they're going to win, but then Truth becomes R-Truth and DIY steal it.
Yeah.
Instead. Because remember, the build up to this match, remember, DIY and Truth and Miz have been, they've been really buddy. And it was Miz, and it was the one who was like when they were hanging out together, the four of them. It's like, we need to come up with a plan to take down Judgment Day and get the tag titles off of them. So it's like, he didn't say exactly like, for us. He was saying like, we all need to work together to make this happen, kind of thing. So that's where I'm kind of hoping maybe DIY wins it, because I would love to see Johnny and Ciampa have their big WrestleMania moment like they deserve. So that's just that's what my heart wants. It's like, I want to see DIY win this, but I can see Miz Truth winning. That's how I feel about it. I think this match is still going to kick butt, though.
Yeah, Bobby?
So I think I read this. I didn't watch Raw, but I was able to watch Raw this week. But I read that when talking about this match, that Michael Cole specified or was kind of hammering home that you can't just pull off. You're not going to just pull off one belt and you're going to win. The teams have to pull off both belts, both sets of titles.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a scenario where, let's say, Awesome Truth pulls down the Raw tag titles, and maybe DIY pulls off the SmackDown titles, and then you split the championships? That's I have to look more. I have to figure that out, because I think that would make a lot more sense. This seems like WWE's attempt to split the tag titles, stop with the undisputed tag, have one set of belts go to SmackDown, the other ones go to Raw, and so then then to me it's like, okay, process of elimination. Awesome Truth seems like they're kind of quote unquote destined to win the set of belts, whatever set of belts. Now, you're absolutely right. R-Truth could be R-Truth. It's what's classic about him. It's what's going to make him a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best, because just based off character alone. Even though people don't remember this, but most people don't remember, he's a former NWA champion. Guy's a legend. He's done it. He's done it all in this business. But to have that moment, and then maybe he's about to pull down the other belt, and then something happens where he falls off the ladder, and then some other team runs up and takes it, and now you got the title split. I think that's how it's going to kind of go down. And maybe this is the catalyst of splitting up the Judgment Day. They've been kind of teasing issues between Balor and Damian for a little while now. So if they end up losing their titles and they kind of blaming each other, and maybe Damian in that match, maybe when Seth and Drew, whoever wins, they're beat the hell out of each other, they have an awesome match. That's when this guy decides he's going to try to pull a Seth Rollins, and then Phil Dallas probably cost him the match. That kind of seals the deal. But I think this is going to be a split the title situation.
I can totally see them doing that if they want to do that, because it's like they've really got so many tag teams right now that it's like I can see them wanting to split the titles again just to make things easier for both shows, because like each show has a really good set of tag teams at this point. So it's like and also I think everyone is in agreement all over the fandom that there's no way Judgment Day is walking out of this match with the tag titles. They are losing the titles. It's just a question of which team is
coming away with them. Yeah, for sure.
I think they'll probably will do the comedy act of R-Truth pulling down the red and the blue title, and he's like, "We won, dog!" And then people are like, "What? What are you talking about?" Or something like that. Because I mean, that was the one thing is like it, and he's so over right now that I still would like to see him and Miz have a run. But the fact that I'm kind of with Justin, it's like, but DIY's on Raw too. So what are you supposed to do with that? And obviously New Day's not going to, win for the 13th time or how many times. What are they like?
Yeah,
9?
New Day's not winning this.
Yeah.
While they're in theory are a new team, they're not winning this. It's like Tyler Bate and Dunn, as awesome they are, they're kind of like a dark horse, but they just also started teaming together, even though they've teamed a lot in the past before. it's either Miz and Truth or DIY are the only two teams I see as being walking out of this match a winner or co-winners, as Bobby's saying. It's like
so. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely thinking this is going to be a pretty solid match. I don't know if they're going to do that.
They've
early.
separated Candice and Indy from Johnny and Ciampa right now. They're not like a one big stable like back in the day. So it's like DIY is finally getting over as with the fans as baby faces. So it's like they're kind of keeping that separate, which makes sense. Yeah, Chris Taylor Chat brought up, Creed Brothers. I mean, like, Raw Tag Division is friggin' loaded. I mean, like, it's crazy. Creed Brothers are future tag team champions because those guys are just like the bomb. So it's like
they're the Steiners, but are also like high flyers on top.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they didn't make it into this match.
Yeah,
like when they had it was them versus DIY. I was just like, that's not fair, man. Only one of them is going to be in the match,
right? Exactly. But yeah, I think R-Truth, like I said, I think R-Truth gets his moment. He's just very.
It'd be nice to see, for sure.
It would be very nice to see. Okay. Anything else before we move on to the next one?
Mm-mm.
All right. So Bobby kind of alluded to it. We kind of almost got into it, but here we go. So, so this was kind of a thrown together as we kind of alluded to. So you know what? I'm just going right to Bobby. Bobby, air your grievances. This is the Festivus for the rest of us of WrestleMania.
As the great Vince Stanza would say once he watches, because he's too old to stay up to watch the show. Again, I'm not hating on. First off, huge fan of all these guys. Love the LWO. Mm-hmm. Love the build-up. Love that they brought it back. I'm excited. I love the Puerto Rican colors. I love the Mexican colors. Oh. Hey, we're jumping the gun. Anyway, but again, I thought this was going to be Santos versus Ray. I like what they were doing with Santos. I like what they're doing with Santos. Again, I just feel like it was like we have nothing. We didn't have nothing for Dominic. We need to have him on the card because he's probably next to Roman Reigns, and now The Rock, one of the most hated heels in professional wrestling in a long time. Mm-hmm. How can you leave him off the card and you throw him in there? Of course, first of all, it's not like, oh, this is going to be a terrible match. No, it's so freaking random, And I know there's history between father and son, but it's like they haven't revisited that in a while. I mean, this could have been anything. But I think it's going to be a great match. My prediction is it's going to be Dominic and Santos coming out the winners because Josh brought it up earlier. Carlito, who is a member of the LWO, who you thought would have been the tag team partner of Ray, I think he goes back to his old ways, turns heel, and takes out Ray, which will lead to Santos and Dominic winning this matchup. Dominic gets his win over his dad, gets his win back.
Mm-hmm.
Justin?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, I mean, the Santos heel turn was done so good, and he's been killing it. And he revived Legado del Fantasma, but since Joaquin Wilde and Del Toro decided to side with Ray and not him, he got Angel Garza and Alberto Carrillo to replace them as his lackeys, and then they brought up Elektra Lopez. So I was like, okay, cool, Legado's back, nice. And it's like it's been good back and forth. They had to drag things out a little bit because Ray was out for an injury, so it like the feud kind of dragged just a little bit because they were like, we need to kill time until Ray can get back in the ring and him and Santos can go. So, but yeah, it felt like out of nowhere last minute that they're throwing in Dragon Lee and Dirty Dom into this, but it's like it's like they wanted to give Dom something, and plus him and his dad, that's automatic heat. It's like he obviously still has unfinished business with his dad. It's like after last year. I also wondering if Bad Buddy's going to show up again this year too. People are speculating about that.
True.
Because he was there last year to help Ray out. And he's got ties with the LWO anyway. So yeah, I see the heels winning this. And the Carlito turn is definitely a possibility. I could see that happening. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the heels for this one, too.
I just think that the Andrade's got to be involved, right?
that too, with him and what's going on with him and Dom too, I would think he would also maybe get involved too.
So it's going to be interesting to really see. This, like you said, it was kind of thrown together. Carlito was there. I mean, Zelina and then the other. Everyone's going to be involved, right, in some form or fashion.
It's
so
there's going to be chaos, I think, at some point.
Yeah, and then either Carlito comes out, and then maybe Andrade. I just they're going to overbook it as much as I think they're going to overbook the main event of night 2. But that's nor here nor there. But we're just, you know what? Speaking about main events, we're just going to go right into it because it's what I've got. So, but yeah, the match that probably wasn't supposed to happen, but we get it anyway because they pivoted. Even Cody Rhodes just said today that it was supposed to be the Rock and Roman, but then the "we want Cody" stuff changed Triple H's mind. Now, whether or not, I mean, Cody publicly coming out and saying that, I think that's just kind of going along with the narrative. You won't just go at a WWE event and then admit that, unless you're doing, because like it's actual WWE event. It's not Chris Van Fleet or Sam Roberts or any of these other Sean Ross Sapp or any of these other guys. It was him coming out and saying it. Now, do I think they pivoted? Yes. Also, too, do I think Randy Orton was supposed to be in that Seth Rollins part? Probably, but then CM Punk got hurt, so here we are. But I'm totally looking forward to this. Bobby?
100%. I don't know what the original plan was. I know for a while they've been talking about Rock and Roman. Kind of when they decided to have Cody lose to Roman at WrestleMania last year, the fans really pushed for this. And maybe, I don't know, it's hard to believe that WWE totally, I mean, they did it with Daniel Bryan and Batista and Randy Orton back in the day, where they had to, the fans wanted a certain way, and they just were not letting wrestlers talk, and so WWE's like, all right, well, I guess we have to throw them in there. Where fans were complaining on the internet, and they were hating on Rock showing up, and which was crazy, and even though they were just cheering for The Rock a couple weeks before, like nuts. I do believe, even though it seemed like it was a mess, I think WWE had this. I just have a feeling that it just, the way it kind of went out. The only thing I find odd is just having Seth Rollins involved. Everything else kind of makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, again, WWE knew they had Cody win the Rumble and then have The Rock show up, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna play it off like we're stupid and we were just gonna have The Rock show. No, I think WWE knew what the hell they were doing. I think The Rock, first off, The Rock is one of the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. So can he pivot on a day's notice? Like Cody brought up a great point the other day on the MMA Hour show, where he's like, this reminds him a lot of Hollywood Hogan. Where, I mean, he realized the fans didn't like him, that he was, like Hulkamania was the biggest thing in the world. And then WCW, and you're watching these Nitros like I was, when you see fans kind of booing him and everything, which they were like back then, you're like, whoa, that's Hulk Hogan. And all of a sudden he went, all right, you want to boo me? Watch me become the biggest heel in professional wrestling. And that's what The Rock did. And that dude's, so not saying he can't do that, but to me, it's like, I can't think that Triple H and these guys didn't just say, yeah, we're just going to F this all up and mix this all. No, I think I just have a feeling that was the plan, but I agree. I think Randy Orton should have been in this spot. I don't know why he's not in that spot. Seth Rollins should just be focused on Drew McIntyre. It seems kind of like a cluster. Unless McIntyre was to be involved in this match on the Rock side, it was kind of a cluster to me. I think that this should be Cody, Randy Orton, Rock, Roman, but this is the match, and I think it's going to be an exciting match. I think it's going to be a fun match, and I also think Bloodline's going to win this match. Justin?
Yeah. I mean, the build to this has been just like a grand slam, even though it's a very obvious pivot. I think I think what they've been saying is true, that they wanted to do Rock and Roman, but I also think Triple H was like, okay, just in case something happens, let's make sure that we can be able to go this way depending on how the fans react. And it's like, because I could see Triple H being like that, where like, okay, we're going to go this way, but just in case we can do this. If the fans turn on this whole thing, and they did, and they're like, okay, all right, we're gonna go this way. It's very obvious. Plus, the way they initially set up was a big fumble because it made no effing sense that Cody would just step aside for The Rock after he won the Rumble and he wants to finish the story, and all of a sudden now he wants to step aside just so that The Rock have a dream match with Roman. And the fans really turned on it because they freaking love Cody so much right now. They want to see him win the title. That they rightly saw that Rock was trying to steal what was rightfully Cody's place, and they were not having it. Even though he's The Rock and they love him, they were like, no, F this. We want Cody. And so they did the right move by switching this up. And the smart thing they did was adding in the stipulation. This is not just like a tag match, between the two of them. There are stakes involved that will affect Cody and Roman's title match too. With if the babyfaces win, Bloodline is completely barred from the Cody Roman 2 title match on Sunday. If Bloodline wins, then it's Bloodline rules. Anything goes, and that means that they will be able to do whatever they want to do to prevent Cody from beating Roman to win the title. And that's exactly what's going to happen. There is no way Rock and Roman are losing this match. Rock is not losing his first match back on a WrestleMania after, what has it been, 7 years ago when he and Cena had their second match? It's been a while. And plus, they got to stack the deck against Cody as much as possible to, be like, oh, how the hell is it going to, it's Bloodline rules. How the hell is Cody going to win this?
Right.
It's like, it's impossible. It's like Solo and Jimmy will be able to come down and do whatever he wants. Rock will be able to interfere and do whatever he wants. It's like he's screwed. It's like, so that the fans are going to be wondering, like, that they don't, how he doesn't have a chance in hell of beating Roman now. So it's the perfect setup to put as much as the odds against Cody finishing the story as much as possible.
Well, if Josh, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you very quick.
Yeah,
I just want to come off what Justin's saying here. Why I disagree in the part that I believe this was planned, because Roman has said this from the beginning in his interviews. He saw about Paul Heyman, where they're long-term storytellers, and the whole plan was, we all know they wanted to get to, or they want to get to Rock versus Roman. And right now, obviously, it's like, oh, how could that happen now? They're on the same side. I think this is gonna lead to that. Oh, and yeah. I don't want to talk about night 2. I mean, we'll get to the main event. I don't want to spoil, but I agree. The winning night 1 for the Bloodline, the setup night 2, is going to eventually end up leading up to Rock versus Roman WrestleMania next year, because of what I think could happen on night 2. Mm-hmm. They're going to win. It's going to be an epic match. And like you said, we're going to talk about it. It's going to be overbooked. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go, holy shit, this guy comes and this guy comes. It's going to be nuts. But the end is what's going to lead to the true end of the story for those two. That's why, again, I'm with you, Justin, but that's why, I find it, I don't think, especially Triple H, who's been very little fumbling in regards of match storytelling. I have a feeling they're like, hey, it doesn't make any sense right now, whether Cody was to win the Rumble or not, to say, oh, The Rock's showing up and now he's going to fight for the title, the Undisputed title. Why? There's so many other guys who could fight for the Undisputed title. Yeah. So it's like, okay, how can we do this? All right, let's have Rock show up. Cody's the ultimate good guy, right? Even though he has some heel, he could be a great heel, no doubt, but he is the top baby face of the company. And he seems like a goody two-shoes who would be like, you know what, Rock tells him, hey, buddy, you know what? I really want to, this is a mega main event. You have your title shot at any time, but let me have this. And Cody would probably be the one going, you know what? I like you, Rock. I'll do it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, now he sees The Rock and Roman going, hey, man, they're showing the bloodline tree. And Cody's like, that's bullshit. Wait a second. Yeah. So to me, I was like, it was at the same time, I'm going, damn, this is a fumble, man. They really effed up. In another sense, it's like, wait, dude, this seems like my feeling is they know exactly what they're doing because they know what the end game is.
Yes.
which is the final boss.
Yeah.
Right.
And trust me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and kind of alluding to when Justin was saying, like, that SmackDown, we jumped on Discord after that SmackDown. We just did a hangout. Discord, patreon.com/RuckusTV. Just shout out.
Yeah. Cheap plug.
But yeah, cheap plug. But I was just like, Justin, so what'd you? And I mean, he just went on this epic rant. We almost had him record it for the show.
Oh, I was so pissed off when the Rock.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
I was not happy. I was like, "What is this bullshit?"
Yeah, and then that event happened where Cody came out, and then Seth Rollins. Why is it? He shouldn't be in this.
He's felt like the fourth wheel in this thing, really, and that's why
they made him look so weak, bro. This thoroughly made him look weak.
The things that Roman and Rock have said about him, they have trashed him very badly, and only recently has been able to get some pot shots back. But like Roman, that one time on SmackDown, he completely fucking buried Seth. Like it's like damn, dude. It's like the way to treat your second world champion is like
right.
It was. I was like, wow, okay, that doesn't help. Yeah, I agree. Also, that it would have made more sense for him to go to Randy because him and Randy are like this, and they go back. It's like, and if I need someone to watch my back, if I'm fighting Rock and Roman, it would be him. But I get why they wanted to throw Seth in because of his history with Roman. And also how he's been dissing Roman as well for a long time, saying, I'm the real world champion. I'm the workhorse champion. It's like, and putting down, him just like Cody and other people have. So I get why they threw him into this match. I agree. It would have made more sense if it was Orton. But I guess they were like, no, we're going to have Orton be in the U.S. title match. It's like, okay, whatever. But yeah. It's like Bloodline's winning, so the set of Bloodline rules, and like Michael is gonna close out night one and be like, how is Cody gonna be able to finish the story now? It's like, and also you brought it up. Don't count out Drew McIntyre playing a role in this match because there was an Easter egg on a recent Raw where Heyman was shown way in the background having a little private chat with Drew McIntyre. Yep. So
long-term storytelling, brother. I'm telling you, they know what they're doing, man.
Yeah, because Drew has made it clear that he's really pissed off at Seth. That dude, what are you doing with getting all distracted?
You're not paying attention to me.
Yeah, it's like we're having a world title match. I'm challenging you for the world title, and you're more concerned about helping Cody against the Bloodline. It's like, where's your priorities, dude? It's like, so they've been setting that up for quite a while. So I will not be surprised if Drew McIntyre plays a role in causing Cody and Seth to lose this match.
And credit to Drew McIntyre, man. First off, he's always been great to, whatever. But his growth in just a short amount of time, what he's done with CM Punk, he's done with Seth Rollins. I mean,
his social media is just ridiculous.
Did you see the one he did today?
Yeah, with Brian Cage.
Brian Cage,
I didn't see that one.
AEW, he goes at WrestleMania, I'm finally going to get out of the cage, and he goes to do lifting weights, and Brian Cage comes in and helps him with the weightlifting.
He's a spotter.
He's a spotter.
Yeah,
dude, he's killing. I don't want to rush it tonight too, but Drew is on another level right now.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He's on another level.
That's Justin's boy. Like, I'm a big Rock. Like, basically every show, I'm just like, we get to NXT and we just wait for Roxanne at the last part, and then I always just I was like, all right, let's wait for at the end of Raw. Let's in our Raw reviews, let's just wait for, and then we can let him talk about Drew.
I became a big fan of McIntyre in 2019 when he was still the Scottish psychopath, when he was still heel, and then he turned face and won the Rumble and then beat Brock for the title. I was like on cloud nine because I was like, yeah, baby. So I feel like this is his best work that he's done in all the time I've been watching him since I started watching wrestling again. He is killing it. His trolling of CM Punk has been on an epic level. That three-way face-off on Raw between the three of them was epic. It's just like that's why it's like I really hope he's going to be re-signed because they cannot let him go away because Punk, the feud with him and CM Punk when Punk is finally cleared to wrestle again, it's going to be epic.
Old school wise, he has the look.
Mm-hmm.
He has the resume, he has the skill, he has the character and the mic skills. He has it all.
Yep.
He right now is an A+ player. He should be, after night 2, be the world's champion. And to see that what's next for him, because I think Seth probably will take a little bit of time off, just like Roman would if Roman drops it. Which will be great because it's just a little bit of fresh storylines. And then when they come back, SummerSlam Survivor Series will be just as cool. But it gives, whether it's Gunther, Drew McIntyre, or Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, which I think and Jey Uso, it's going to be very exciting. He's earned it. Hopefully he finishes his story at WrestleMania, because it's true. He's more than likely probably going to be involved in this match. Paul Heyman was talking behind the scenes. We saw that. Great point out. And if you think of it from the other side, I'd be pissed off too. I'm like, dude, we're main eventing. We're one of the main events. This is for the world heavyweight, and you're involved with this. All of a sudden, you're buddies with Cody. That's how unserious you take me. Like, I love what they're doing with Drew. It makes so much sense. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it.
I'll leave it, and we'll go on the next match. I'll leave those 2 things. Number 1, I was listening to some like super casuals, because anytime The Rock is involved, a lot of people are going to come out the woodwork. Oh, The Rock's involved with WrestleMania. Let's see. And just to hear the casuals, I was listening to a radio show. They're more of a sports show, but they were saying like, The Rock's back in WrestleMania. Yeah, he's part of this tag match. Okay, but then there's 2 nights. So why is he in a tag match? But then Cody and Roman, like, to see them just like spin their wheels of like how it doesn't, like, they're not understanding because they weren't keeping up with it. And I'm just going to be like, and I start explaining it like to myself of how I explain to him, like, yeah, it's going to take too long, dude. Just watch WrestleMania. It's awesome. And then the other thing, as far as if it wasn't for, unfortunately, CM Punk being injured is the best and worst thing, because number 1, we wanted to see Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Number 1, we wanted to see it.
I was hyped.
But him getting hurt was the best thing to happen to Drew, which he recognized, and we'll get into it when we get more into the Drew Seth thing. But this match probably was planned with Randy, and it would make much more sense because a bloodline versus the legacy, right? So that was what would be the better way to go. And plus, they already had the fuse with the bloodline, but that's okay.
Plus, Randy, when Randy came back, he made it clear he's like, I want to destroy you and Roman because you guys put me on the shelf for a year and a half with that back injury. I want my payback. And they
had the 4-way, and that was
Rumble, and then it was dropped, and then now he got quickly moved into the Logan Paul thing.
So, but it's fine. All right, speaking about bloodline stuff, they want this match. Unfortunately, Jimmy is not where his brother is. But Justin, is this the match we wanted a while ago? Is it something we still need now?
Yes. This has been building for quite some time. It was after Jimmy turned on Jay at SummerSlam last year when he was fighting Roman for the title and the Tribal Chief title at the same time. Everyone's like, okay, yeah, no, they're gonna, and they've talked about it. They've talked about that. One of the things they wanted to do was to face off against each other at WrestleMania, brother versus brother. It was one of their career check marks that they wanted to do before they retire, and it's happening. It was just a little weird because because then when Jay got moved to Raw, it's like things they left that on the wayside for a little while. And only just recently did they start to get back to the issues they have between each other to build toward this match. But they've both done a really good job of building up to this match. The fans are going to be hyped for this because holy cow, has Jey Uso become one of the most over baby faces in the company. It's wild to see everybody, in the arena waving up their hands when he comes out. It's like Triple H and them have done a fantastic job of getting Jay over as a single babyface star. And so I definitely see him, getting an IC title in the near future. I know some people are kind of hoping that maybe he was going to dethrone Gunther. I was like, no, not Gunther's not using it yet. So it's like, that's why, and that fell into the storyline where Jimmy cost him the Intercontinental title match against Gunther on Raw to help build toward this match. So this is going to be fun. These guys are going to go all out because this is what they've both wanted for a long time to do this match, and Jay's winning.
Bobby?
I'm really looking forward to this match. Huge Jey Uso fan. Love his development. Love his character. Love everything about him. Same with Jimmy. I love, I obviously he's not where his brother is. I think he can be. He's just as talented. I love the Yeet No Yeet. I think it's going to be an exciting match. Obviously, it's a dream come true for them. I know they're going to want to tear the house down.
Yeah.
And I expect they're going to do their best too. I would love to see their father get involved somehow. Whether,
yes, Rikishi, please.
Whether at the end of the match, like maybe he shows up to kind of ease the, after they've had their, hey, you did it. Let's cut this out, which is another kind of tear in the bloodline, or maybe which again, I don't think Jey Uso should ever go back to the bloodline. I think Jey Uso, he has set himself apart from those guys. He is, but maybe reunite the brothers somehow. Not make them a tag team again, but where they maybe Jimmy can now be on his own on SmackDown and figuring out his way, or maybe he takes a break because you brought up the retirement thing. I think it's kind of crazy. Obviously, the storyline, the way it kind of played out earlier in the year, was you knew they were going to face each other eventually. And like you said, they kind of took like a little bit of they focused on other things, and then they kind of came back, which makes sense because they've always said, I want to face him at WrestleMania before, which again, now I'm thinking about the other two brothers, which was Bray Wyatt. And I just watched that documentary, finished it last night. And what a freaking heart wrench. I mean, whatever they wanted you to cry. They kept doing it over and over again. It's like, dude, stop. I get it. It's sad. It's like, and we were just going to want to do it. And I'm like, damn it. It's like, but these two get to live that dream. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited for fun. Jay, like you said, you got to do this. I went to that Monday Night Raw when CM Punk showed up at Raw for the first time because they were in Nashville after he came back. I mean, and I was so excited. I wanted to buy a Yeet shirt, but I had to buy the kids' T-shirts. And the wife's like, that's enough. And I was like, oh. So, and then, of course, Christmas came around. I'm like, I'm going to get it. And it sold out. I'm like, no, it was the copyright thing. So I'm like, damn it. So I never got the Yeet shirt, but I'm going to. But I don't, Jey Uso's there, man. And I think Jey Uso's going to pull it out. It needs to be a fun match.
Of course, the only reason I was just kind of like, oh, how is Jimmy going to live up to Jay momentum, right? Because Jay's momentum is just ridiculous right now, and it was kind of cool seeing like someone did a snap of like Jay doing this for the first couple times and no one did anything to now where like you have 15,000 like all doing that. It's kind of like the same thing when LA Knight did the LA Knight and like 3 people said it, and then now it's just a concussion of sound with that. But with Jimmy's comedic timing, but yet he can flip, which is something that's very hard to do, and he's very good at it. Especially with that promo where he came out and basically said everything without saying a whole lot to Jay. And so and I know these guys are going to tear the house down, because there's one thing about having a good wrestling match is the best ones are the ones between friends, much less brothers. And Rikishi did tweet out with one thing of just his finger, all it was a finger up emoji and a blood drop emoji. So he might, who knows what they might do with it.
I think that's clear indication that Daddy's kind of torn about this match. It's like these are his boys,
right? Well, Solo's not.
That's
not the point.
Rikishi has to show up in some fashion. It's like
Solo's another rare L by the current regime of WWE. The way they mess with his character a little bit.
We've talked about that.
Absolutely.
They can flip Solo real quick.
For sure.
He's got that. They've built his aura enough. They can flip that. I'm not too worried about it. But for the last match of night 1, which honestly, if it wasn't for The Rock being involved, probably would have been the main event of night 1, which is Becky and Rhea Ripley. So, hey, this is how the show's going to go. This should be the main event. That's right. I said it, Rock. Deal with it. Just kidding. But anyway, this match, it kind of stinks that the Elimination Chamber is kind of already like Becky and Rhea are like we're at WrestleMania since the end of last WrestleMania when Rhea won the title, and Becky was kind of doing. I forget exactly where Becky was at the situation.
She was the Trish Lita thing, and then Trish turned on her,
Okay.
and then the Trish feud happened.
Yeah,
with her.
but like this was we've been talking about this since the last WrestleMania when Rhea finally got the title and she really started building momentum. Like this is Becky Rhea written all over it. Like if you don't do this, then what are you doing? And no one else kind of stepped up. I'm not saying you couldn't, but Becky is, she's one of the best female wrestlers of all time, and Rhea's on her way there. And I am totally looking for these two women to put on a classic. Justin?
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this match for a really long time. Like, because the only time these two have ever faced each other in the ring was in NXT back in 2019, and that was a no contest. And the only other time they've interacted was the first Survivor Series War Games match when Rhea joined forces with Damage Control against the babyface team with Bianca and Becky at the head. Other than that, they have not had a one-on-one match for a long time. So, and they've been teasing this match for more than a year. It's like they were teasing that before even Rhea beat Charlotte at WrestleMania last year. It's like they were teasing it back during that War Games year. That's like Survivor Series that they made it clear one day Rhea and Becky are going to throw down. It's only a matter of time. And I'm really torn about this match because I love these women both a lot. I've been a Rhea fan ever since her NXT days. I knew she had the potential to be one of the biggest women's stars on the roster, and Triple H finally gave her the ball, and she's run with it and killed it, just like Bianca did. And Becky Lynch is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. She is the reason that I'm watching wrestling again now is because of her. Because it's like I took a break from wrestling for several years because I was burnt out and WWE sucked. It's like there's, it's like I was like I'm done. I need to check out for a while. And then I heard about everyone was like in the build toward that WrestleMania that year. It's like when she was feuding with Ronda, and then the Charlotte thing happened, and then it's like she turned into the man. Everybody was talking about her. It was all over the internet. Everyone's like, it's like, oh God, Becky Lynch is amazing. I was like, okay, like what? Okay, what's going on? And then it's like, and the more I saw of her, the more like, okay, I like her. And it's like she brought me back, and I've been a fan of hers ever since. And this match is gonna kill it. They are also gonna try to steal the show, especially because they're not going to have the main event slot, which is unfortunate, because of the Rock thing. Before that happened, I thought that either this match or Io Bailey should main event night one because ladies deserve a main event slot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's unfortunate that it's not going to happen again because the last time we had the women had a title match that main evented was Sasha versus Bianca 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate, but yeah, what can you do? So anyway, it's like as much as I love Becky and my heart would like to see her have the title one more time, I just don't see Rhea losing the title right now. It's like, I feel this is more about at this point in her career, Becky's, especially with what she did with NXT and helping building up the women down there and putting Lyra Valkyria over. She put Tiffany Stratton over. She's in the part of her career where she's made it clear she cares about building up the women's division, like a lot of like Bayley and some other people are, to elevate the future. Because she's had her time. She's had her time at the top, and stuff like that. So she's okay with helping to build up other women stars at this point. And what better way to help put Rhea even more over? Like first she took down Charlotte, then take down Becky a year later. It's like two of the best, one half of the horsewomen she's already taken down. It's like that makes her looks really damn good. So yeah, it's like I love Becky Lynch, but I'm gonna have to go with Rhea to retain.
Bobby?
Yeah, again, I'm gonna just hit it off and home run. Again, these, I don't want to say the way I'm going to try to say this. There are very few, these two right here, like Charlotte, for instance. There's China was like that, where when you think of WWE, you automatically go to the Roman Reigns, The Rock, Cody. You think of the guys, and the women, the female superstars, wrestlers kind of fall right there. But there's a handful of them that are just equal. I mean, that are right there, that are just as big, if not bigger. Rhea Ripley is one of those. Becky Lynch is one of those. The man character that she, when she broke her nose and she stood there like a badass with a set. I mean, how could you not go, holy shit, that's, I want to see her. And of course, I'm a huge Charlotte Flair fan. I mean, to me, she's up here compared to a lot of the guy superstars. I mean, people go, oh, she's not that great. Shut the hell up. She's amazing, but Rhea Ripley's right there. Becky Lynch is there. And this match should be a main event. Same thing with you're right, with Bayley's match, because she won the Rumble. It's a world title match. She should be there. But this one right here just screams Night Stealer. These girls are going to show we should have been the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love Becky, and as much as I think she's a great champion whenever she is, it's Rhea's time.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy's always on top, and Mommy will end up on top at the end of the night when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll just wrap it up with Harris says, man, it's gonna be pumped because Mommy's always on top. So.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my baby brother. That's my brother. Watching from he's in Texas right now. He flew to Texas from Miami. He has a boxing match. I believe it's tomorrow. He's a pro boxer. He's gonna fight tomorrow night. He'll be on DAZN. So I think it is. He called me and I was like, dude, I'm doing a show right now. He's like, what show? I'm like, WrestleMania preview. But I like that. Man is going to be bottom because Mommy's always on top.
Yeah. So, hey, man, good luck
That's
tomorrow.
quick thing, Josh. Because that's what happened last year with because Rhea won the Rumble last year to face Charlotte. Her and Charlotte were like, they wanted the main event. Charlotte really was pushing for them to have the main event, and it didn't happen. And so it's like Rhea has talked about, like, no, we're going to go out and steal the show. And they stole the show.
Right.
Like, they stole night one.
Yeah.
Her and Charlotte killed it last year.
Yeah.
And I think her and Becky are going to do the exact same thing this year.
Plus, I think didn't it come out where where they were going to actually cut their time a little bit, and Charlotte was like, no.
Yeah.
And when they kept telling them to go home, and she told the ref no.
No. Exactly.
You don't tell the queen to go home.
Yeah.
Right.
And
kick rocks.
Like Bobby, I'm also a fan of Charlotte, even though I know there's people out there who are kind of like, I'm so sick of Charlotte. Well, they keep pushing her, not because she's a daughter of Ric Flair, but because she's a damn good fucking wrestler. That's why.
Yeah.
And
dude.
She reminded me of that last year with that 5-star match her and Rhea put on. And kudos to Charlotte for saying, no, we're going to have our time here. I'm putting her over tonight. We're going to throw down. No, we're not going home. We're going to go home when we want to go home. So kudos to Charlotte for doing that for Rhea.
Listen, no doubt Charlotte got her opportunity to go into NXT because of who her father was. Yeah. But people who continue to say that, oh, she is who she is because of her dad, it's a lazy take.
Yeah.
She has not. I'm not saying she surpassed her father, who many people consider the GOAT, but she's definitely right there, equal to, in my opinion. She's just as great. Her in-ring performance, her character development, what she's done with the women's division, what she's done for superstars like Rhea Ripley, even for Becky Lynch, who, remember that turn when Becky turned on Charlotte because she was so sick of losing to Charlotte. Of course, then that turnaround had to go anti-hero Stone Cold Steve Austin type. Right. They put Becky in a whole other pedestal. That's who Charlotte is. So she's already a legend. To me, she's right there. She's probably one of the GOATs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yep. And then there's there's a girl in AEW, and then there's one that's going to be forming on night 2.
Yeah.
So
now I know there's some question, of course, about Becky and Seth's contracts are coming up soon. I am not worried about them leaving WWE. These guys, they're both WWE for life. They're not going to jump ship. They both made it clear how happy they are in WWE. And plus, if one or more of them, it's like if one of them wanted to go to AEW or something, the other one wanted to stay. That wouldn't be kosher for them, especially because of their daughter, who it's like they bring with when they travel and stuff. So yeah, I don't see them going anywhere. So yeah, I'm so excited for this match. Becky said that she wouldn't mind if they opened the night one, and
I
if
love
they
that.
do, they're gonna kill it.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, do you think of the card now that we have? Obviously, we know what's going to close, but what's going to open? I think it's a ladder match.
You're probably right, but I kind of want these two to open the match.
Yeah.
I think they want to open up with a banger. I think it's going to be the Bianca Belair, Kate Cordial.
That's not a bad pick either. Yeah,
because I think that they want to open up with a banger, and I think that's probably the banger.
Yeah.
And then thank you, Chris Taylor, for getting the heat is on stuck in my head, but now it's the yeet is on.
Heat is on.
I like that. I like
it.
Yeah. And then Rock and Roman are winning night one. It just makes no sense.
Question.
No
question.
And The Rock's gonna get the pin on like Seth for some random reason.
Yeah, Seth is taking the fall because Cody, Roman, and Rock can't afford to take a pinfall in that match.
Brock Lesnar's going to come back on night one, and he's going to win it for the bloodline.
I don't think Brock Lesnar is going to. And you remember, the Brock Lesnar guy? That guy that was like, when Brock Lesnar came back, he just like, I'm the ... guy. That's his name on Twitter now.
That's awesome.
All right, let's move on to night two.
Night two.
All right. Probably, like we already alluded to, I think I don't know how much time they're going to give them, honestly, for this match. Now, there's only 6 matches on this night when there's 7 on the first.
Yeah.
So they might give them a little bit more because it's 3 hours on one night, 3 hours on the second. But of the other matches that I see on this card, there's one that I probably think is going to get the shortest. I don't think it should. But this is probably going to be right there with the second shortest match. But then I remember the Brawling Brutes, their match that one year where they had the street fight or whatever it was with them, whatever they called it. It was like a weird stip, more towards them, and they gave them a good amount of time. I remember that match being really good. Mm-hmm. So this could surprise us. Bobby?
Yeah, again, I think this is that match I talked about earlier, that when they asked who was the weakest match, I guess it's just not in regards of who's in the match, just because it just seems so random. But when you have someone like Bobby Lashley, Karrion Kross, those two guys, huge fans of, a lot of potential. Montez Ford, that dude's going to be one of the superstars one day. I mean, mega stars. I mean, I think this match has potential to be, and I think it will open night 2, and I think it could be a banger for night 2, just because you don't expect much of it, but then when you see, especially if it's a street fight, weapons will be involved, and it might be a quick banger. It might be a 15-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, and it might go whoa, and then it's over. But again, I'm only excited because you got Cross, Montez, and Bobby Lashley. Not taking anything away from the other guys, but I think especially Montez is going to have some WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, that's why I was really hoping the Street Profits were in the ladder match, just because Montez.
Yeah,
that Elimination Chamber match.
Oh,
that he had
last year.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that's what I was like. Okay, no, I'm a fan. Get this guy, put him up. That's it.
The prettiest, nothing. I mean, Eddie Guerrero is one of the greatest of all time, and so is RVD. But he has the prettiest frog splash.
Yeah, no, dude. Again, I could see and that's if it goes the way I think it's gonna go, with new champions and maybe the other guys taking some time off. You give guys like that, Montez, Sammy, Jay, whomever, guys that are usually stuck in mid card or a top mid card, you give those guys an opportunity to really show their stuff, and they don't have to win the title. Montez Ford doesn't have to win the title, but he could have some mega matches with a guy like, imagine him versus Drew. You're like, man, that's kind of a mismatch. But how damn fun would that match be? Seeing Montez jump off and do some crazy I mean, there's so many opportunities. That's why I love when they did the original brand split. We had Raw and SmackDown. Triple H was over here. JBL was over there. That was fun because you got to have guys who never would really have a title shot having title shots. So this dude I don't know when his opportunity is going to come. I can't wait to see it whenever it does.
Yeah, and as Paul Heyman once famously told JBL, the only reason you're champion is because Triple H
didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah,
Good times.
Justin, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I'm with Bobby on this one. It wasn't one of the most excited about, but I think they can go out and have a fun street fight match. Probably not going to be too long, depending on how much time they want to give them or the other matches on night 2. And yeah, I've been a fan of Street Fighters for a long time. It's like I fell in love with them when during the Black and Gold era NXT, and I've always felt Montez Ford, if he's given the singles push, he could be one hell of a single star. He's got all the tools. He's got the complete package to be able to be a great single star. I think the only reason it hasn't happened yet is because as much as Dawkins is also a really good wrestler, I just don't know if he's got the tools to be able to be good on his own without partnering with Montez. And I could definitely see, because of how tight they are, Montez, not wanting to leave him in the dust necessarily if that happens. Because I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, that he, has gotten more of a singles push, especially when he's given opportunity to shine, like at Elimination Chamber last year, as like with some of the stuff he was doing. The way that he can course correct in midair to do the frog splash, I don't know how he does that. It's like every time I'm like, damn, dude, it's like, you are amazing. So there's going to give the chances to do some crazy stuff at WrestleMania. So I don't know who's going to win this though. It's like maybe I don't know. It's like the Last Testament just started, so I don't know. I don't see that. It's hard. I think Last Testament, but I could see either team win this match. I guess it depends on how long they want to keep this feud between the two groups going. So, I think it's going to be a good match, with the people involved.
It wasn't for lack of build. I'll put it that way. But I think Karrion and I keep wanting to call them Toka and Razor from Ninja Turtles, but they're not that.
Authors of Pain.
Arthur's of Pain, thank you. I don't think that you don't bring them back and make this new faction just for them to job.
Yeah,
you just don't. Yeah, that not in Triple H booking.
Yeah, exactly.
For that, so all right, let's get to I think will probably be the second match, which is the triple threat. I think this will probably be the second match coming out. This build is fine. I think it's going to be fine. That's basically what I feel like. This is fine. You didn't know really what to do with Kevin Owens. This should have been, me and Justin saying, this should have been LA Knight against Logan Paul. It really should have. But am I going to be mad about Logan? I can't believe him. We always sit there and say, but Logan Paul's really good. And it's kind of crazy to say, but he's really good. And he's going up to 2 other guys that are really good. And I think this match is going to be really good, even though it's not the match that I wanted personally once Logan Paul got the title. But, here we are. Justin?
Yeah. I love KO a lot. I love Randy Orton a lot. And, look, it's amazing how good of a wrestler Logan Paul has become. It's insane. Never would have expected it. Not a big fan of him personally, but it's like he can go in the ring. So there's no question this match is going to be great. But it's just odd. It feels odd that Randy was shoehorned into what was clearly Kevin Owens Logan Paul feud. They set it up well with what happened in Elimination Chamber, but at first I was like, oh yeah, no, you shouldn't have done that, Logan Paul. Now Orton's gonna kill you. But then I was like, why are they sticking Orton inserting him into this feud that KO's been having him for a while? Not sure, because the only other possibility besides LA Knight was Kevin Owens, that they wanted to keep the feud going for like a one-on-one match. So, it's still gonna be a good match. Just like it's a little weird that they slotted Randy into this spot, but as far as who wins, I don't see Logan Paul dropping the title just yet.
Bobby?
Yeah, I don't either. I think putting I'm with you, Logan Paul. Not a huge fan personally, but you got to give respect where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
Damn good in the ring, exciting. I'm happy that he's in WWE because he's learning how to build a character.
Yeah.
And what he's been able to do with some, I mean, he had a banger with Roman Reigns a little while back. And I think this match could be a lot of fun with the talent that's in it. I mean, you got two of the best behind him, who's going to be in this match with him. But as great as Randy Orton is, Logan's coming out as champion. As great as Kevin Owens is, Logan's coming out as champion because I can't see either of those two guys with the United States title.
Mm-hmm. Orton doesn't need that title right now.
No.
The only reason I think Kevin Owens might come out of it is because you don't spend that much time photoshopping his face that I'm looking at right now.
Jesus.
Unless you're gonna, what the heck is that? I just now noticed that.
I've been watching that the whole
Jesus.
time, looking at his face.
What is that?
I don't know what that. I don't know if it's a bad
I
picture.
Make that face. My beard was a little bit longer like his, but
I mean, what is that?
I don't know.
This is all like shrunken a little bit. I don't know what's up.
That's a weird face, man.
Yeah.
I think your producer did it. No, I'm just
no. This is straight from Triple H's Twitter.
Yeah,
this is the official posters.
Twitter.
Yeah, we didn't do nothing to this. No. We just did the layouts and made it look fancy from the production that you see here. But yeah, I just now noticed that. I'm like, what the crap? Anyway, let's move on to the questionable match, but like Justin said, it was a good build. The LA Knight, and the phenomenal one who might have new music. He keeps flirting. He keeps sending out there that he might get some new music with his new heel turn. And do we see a Tama Tonka coming out in this match and AJ Styles going, spurning all the OC and just linking up with Tama? Or Thomas is going to come in and just be Tama. I don't know, but I just would like to see Tama have some capacity at this weekend with him coming there. But I think this match is going to be really fun because AJ is one of the best to ever do it in the ring, and LA is not, is in his first rodeo, and he knows how to what he lacks as what AJ has. AJ can make him wrestling a doll look like a 5-star match sometimes. So will they give them the time? We don't know. I think they will, and I can't wait to hear the yes in Philadelphia. Justin?
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't like high on these two because it felt that these two could be used elsewhere, but the build for this match has won me over because the war of words between these two have been excellent. I loved LA Knight showing up at his house and getting arrested by the cops. Very Attitude Era kind of style kind of moment. It's like reminded me of the old home invasions back in the day, like Stone Cold breaking into Brian Pillman's or Triple H going after Orton at his house when they were feuding back in the day. So it had a very like old school feel to it. And then last week where he dressed up as one of the guys at ringside and completely fooled him for a bit. That was a great moment. I did appreciate that AJ looked up on the trot and went, oh crap, he's right behind me, instead of being like a complete doofus. What's where LA Knight has come in the last year between coming up to the main roster as Maxine Dupree in a complete this is death role. Vince wanting to fire multiple times. HBK's like HBK did everything he could to prevent that from happening. It's like, no, I need him. No, Vince, I need him. Right. It's like, don't fire him. It's like he is one of the people that's benefited the most of Vince going bye-bye, because it's like eventually Vince probably would have won out and he would have been out the door. So, and Triple H believes in him. He gave him the opportunity. It's like it started with that feud with Bray, even though that feud with Bray was really odd, and that Mountain Dew match was not the best, but it started the momentum, him getting over, and it's amazing how over he is with, it's like people, is very loud and very local. The fans love him. And it's like eventually you want to see a belt around his waist, and hopefully that's going to happen sometime soon. We'll see. This is this is the chance for LA Knight to shine. It's like he's winning this match because a win over AJ is going to put him over big time. Because, like you said, AJ is one of the best all time. Period. He's one. I didn't watch that much TNA for a while. I kind of like jiffing in and out of TNA, but he's one of the reasons I started watching TNA for a while because of his work along with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels in the X Division back in the day. It's like that stuff was amazing and ahead of its time. So I've been a fan of AJ Styles for a long time. Never thought I'd see him in WWE, but he's had a hell of a career in WWE. Really happy for it because he deserves it as one of the best wrestlers of this generation. So if these guys are going to try to go out there and cook, and hopefully they give him the time. But I think LA Knight's going to win this.
Yeah, and Bobby, just so you know, AJ Styles is on Mount Rushmore. Like, I just because of his work in TNA, and he made me fall back in love with wrestling because I kind of checked out, kind of as we all have at one point. And his in-ring work and just being a smaller guy, number one. So being a short guy like myself, I tend to like the Rey Mysterios, but AJ Styles, and his in-ring work and just he's put on a lot of TNA created like the highlights of AJ Styles, and I just go back and watch those.
He's like in my top 10 period. He's one of my all-time faves.
Yeah. So Bobby.
Well, and the thing with AJ, there's a lot of wrestlers have tried to impersonate or be the second coming of Shawn Michaels.
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
AJ doesn't try to do that. He's himself. But if there ever was a second coming of the greatest in-ring performer, it's AJ Styles. So I was excited when he hopped over. I'm like you, Justin. I wouldn't say I was a big-time TNA fan. I always like its alternatives. I like when other companies kind of come up a little bit. But I was huge into Samoa Joe. I was huge into AJ, Bobby Roode, because of what they were doing in TNA. So when they hopped over to WWE, I was like, hell yes. And, man, Samoa Joe should have been a champion. He should have won at least once.
Absolutely.
I'm happy what he's doing in AEW. But again, he needs to do it in WWE before he retires. But this match here, LA Knight, this guy has reached a pinnacle. He seems like he's kind of getting stuck in neutral. But I think this match could help him look really damn. We know how good he is on the mic. We know how good of a character he is. He has some impressive ring work, but this could set him apart. AJ could make him look like not just $1 million, but $5 million, where it could set him on a path where you say he should be in a match with Logan Paul or maybe Kevin Owens. I see him go skyrocketing right into that United States title picture after this match because of what he's going to do. Now, who's going to win? I think LA could lose this match and still look like he's coming out on top because of the type of match. Because AJ Styles is not just a legend, one of the greatest. He's still in his prime. He's still one of the best. He should be. There's a great argument that he should be in a world title picture, but he's here at LA Knight. So do you go off and say, okay, LA Knight beats AJ Styles, and now AJ Styles looks weaker? I think LA Knight could afford to lose this match and still look like $1 million or two, like I said, $5 million. Where it's like he had an epic match with AJ Styles, one of the greatest. He came this close, but now you know what? I'm going for that belt. And that's when Logan Paul or Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens and LA Knight would be a better match than Paul and LA Knight. But I think AJ Styles wins this one.
Yeah. I like I said, I think AJ wins it, but I don't think he beats him clean if he's going to win. I think LA Knight beating AJ Styles clean doesn't do as much damage as AJ Styles beating LA Knight clean.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
so they would need either the OC, which doesn't make any sense. So you would either have to have like a Tama Tonga or just somebody coming out of the woodwork to help him out to where you still put on a banger match, but he doesn't lose clean. So either LA Knight wins or AJ Styles wins with somebody screwing it up. With that, just to go with what Bobby's narrative is, just because like we love LA Knight, his t-shirts say that people love LA Knight, but it's all about momentum. And like you said, he's kind of stuck in neutral, and he's done the best he can with what this is, but he can't lose clean. It just can't.
Yeah. No, that would
to really take him into that next.
That will kill his momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Kill it. Yeah, big time.
All right, so let's move into our last three here, and let's move in. You know what? I'm gonna do this one before it, because I think this is kind of how they're gonna go with it. So I think this will be the third to last match. It probably won't be, probably the second to last, but typically how they build it, they have the world title, the women's title, men's title. That's kind of how they've done it consistently before. And I think if this was CM Punk, this would have headlined night one. But here we are.
Yep.
But again, even if it was CM Punk and Seth Rollins and The Rock and Roman versus Randy and Cody, or obviously Rock and Roman would have still headlined night one. But I think their goal was, night one, Seth and CM Punk. But here we are. And you know what? I'm going to let you two take it away. Justin, I'll let you take first, and I will pop back in. I got to step away for a second. So, Justin, you have the floor.
Yeah, so this is something here because we originally it was supposed to be Seth versus CM Punk for the title because they were obviously building toward that, but unfortunately, Punk got hurt in the Rumble, and they had to pivot, which ended up being a great thing for Drew McIntyre because, as we said earlier, he's been just absolutely killing it with this with the heel turn, and then when that build to the heel turn was great, and he was doing really good, but then after what happened to CM Punk and him taking credit for it with the T-shirts and the memes and everything on social media, it's like he went to a whole nother level. And the build for this has been fantastic, as we talked about with that. Drew's like, Seth, why are you ignoring me? It seems your priority is more the tag match than our title match. What's going on, man? It's like you need to get your head on straight. And the war of words between them has been fantastic. It's like this match is going to be really good. And I really wanted to see Drew win the title here, and I think he will. The only question is he going to win and then he is champion, or are we going to get a surprise Damian Priest Money in the Bank cash in and then take it from him? This is what I'm wondering is going to happen. And I would feel bad for him if that happens, because I'd like to see him run with the world title with this heel character for a while. Because it's like they can't hold off Priest using the Money in the Bank briefcase for much longer because we're almost to Money in the Bank. He has to use it before Money in the Bank coming up here in July. So he's only got like 3 more months left to use that briefcase before he can. So it's like, and I can see Triple H doing the irony of, because one of Seth's greatest moments was the steal of the century when he cashed in Money in the Bank during Brock and Roman's main event at WrestleMania and literally stole the title from underneath both of them. It's one of his crowning moments in his career. So how could you not love the irony of Priest doing the same thing to him? It's like, and also to Drew at the same time, where it's like Drew's like got his like, yes, I'm the world champion again, finally, and then Priest takes it from him. Kind of like what happened with SummerSlam with Bianca, where Bianca she was fighting to get the title back from Asuka, won the match, and she only had it for a minute because the Io Sky cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase and took it from her, just like that. So that's the question. Are they going to do that? I kind of hope not, even though I love Damian Priest and I want to see him do something in singles, especially higher up on the card. But I love Drew McIntyre so much. I want him to hold on to that world championship. So I think Drew wins. I'm just worried how long it's going to be if he holds on to the title after he wins it. Is what I'm worried about.
I have a sneaking suspicion that I could see it happening where Priest tries to cash in or cashes in. But Seth is a different story because Seth was kind of trending up, even though he lost to Randy Orton earlier that day. Anybody was trending up before where it was like, holy crap. Where Damian should have done that after when he was red hot. When he was red hot, coming from Backlash in Puerto Rico, what he was doing, I think what happens night one, if and when they drop the tag titles, that could set him, give him like a month feud with whoever, maybe Finn Balor, where make him more of a legitimate threat. Because what he's done with R-Truth, bullying him, beating him up, you're like, damn, this dude could be scary.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of stalled out, kind of like LA Knight.
Yeah.
So would it not make sense right now to take that opportunity away from someone like Drew McIntyre, who is red hot? The look, the in-ring work, the mic skills, social media. You could have a grade A. You're about to lose Roman Reigns more than likely. You're losing The Rock. As great as if Rock was long term, which we know, he's earned every right not to be. He's a special attraction, but Hollywood Rock right now would be epic for wrestling. But we know we only have got a little while. Roman Reigns loses this title. If he does, night two, he's more than likely going to take some time off. You need a bad-ass villain. Drew McIntyre is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would not be surprised if there's an interference, but maybe the bloodline. Paul Heyman and Drew McIntyre were talking.
Ooh.
Maybe the bloodline says, hey, we scratch your back, you scratch ours. I think this is going to be a great match. It's going to be a fun match. But he finally has his true WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre comes out, the world heavyweight champion. Damian Priest says, I'm going to wait. He does not come out. They let him build up, and he'll try to make a run for it in the next month or two, but not Sunday.
Yeah.
I think Drew McIntyre will come out of this. There's just you've got to pull the trigger on how good he is is right here. To bring up a comment that Chris Taylor said, Drew has all of it now.
Yeah,
all of it. Yeah, you miss one thing, Bobby. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's good on commentary. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. CM Punk is involved with this somehow.
Oh, that's right. We forgot about we totally forgot about the CM Punk factor that he's going to be at the announce desk for this match. Oh, that's a whole
I remember.
Yeah, you're talking like bloodline stuff. I'm like, I'm saving the bloodline thing for the Cody match because I've got a real big theory on that. But CM Punk has to be involved, not just talking.
Yeah.
Well, he showed that he could do the 1, 2, 3. We know he's not going to be their special referee, but he showed he can move his arm, and he said, I feel great. I know I could do some things. It's WWE that's telling me, slow down.
Right.
So they might be teasing him doing something, but I don't think he's going to cost Drew anything. Maybe he's involved in the bloodline, but I think bloodline might be involved in this match.
Unless they spill his Diet Coke. Which you knew, which led to if everyone knows that. Why'd you feud with John Cena? He spilled my Diet Coke.
Punk on commentary for this match is going to be epic because he's going to be trashing both of these guys because he hates both of these guys. Right. It's like he's there is no bias. He just hates them both equally.
and not keep sitting there petting being DIY and me and Justin just patting ourselves on the back. But we called CM Punk when he got hurt. We're like, he's going to be on commentary for Seth Rollins' match. Like they got to keep him involved. And here we are, and he's part of commentary.
Because it keeps the thing with him and Seth going, and he had to respond to what Drew was doing to him. He had to. It's like, and God, can you imagine Punk versus Drew for the world title at SummerSlam? God, I want to see that so bad.
And I liked how Drew because a lot of people online were saying, well, Drew wouldn't be this popular if CM Punk did get injured. He's just riding the coattails. And then that segment between the three of them, he was just like, you complete, he did the whole Joker thing of like, you complete me. So he kind of like leaned into the fact of like, yeah, but I still did the thing. I still am awesome. Like, he acknowledged that he's kind of.
there's not
doing
many
that.
people that can go toe to toe with CM Punk on the mic, but Drew did, man.
CM Punk getting hurt
PG,
was the
brother.
best thing that happened to Drew McIntyre, because he
Yes.
probably would have been involved in the triple threat for the US. He probably would have been one of those random ass matches.
Yeah.
But because CM Punk got hurt, they threw him in here. We know that one foot has been outside the door because he doesn't feel like he's been used correctly. I think he's putting in his best work. Him and The Rock have done the best work building up this WrestleMania for their characters, what they've been able to do.
The Rock's had more television appearances than Roman Reigns in 2024.
That's wild.
That's just so weird to me. But, yep. All right. So let's go to the second to last match, which I think will kind of be this way, is EO, which unfortunately is not the build that I wanted it to be. You win the Rumble. Congratulations. We're going to kind of finally put you on the poster. Like, I just don't like the way they've been treating Bayley throughout this build. I think they should have done the EO. They should have done the EO of the Dakota Kai turn at WrestleMania than they did now. But hey, the way they did it to get Jake Cargill and all that stuff involved, that kind of makes sense there. And I still think EO's probably going to win it because kind of the same thing with Becky and Rhea. Bayley doesn't need it. And you're going to ruin EO if Bayley goes over, but I wouldn't be mad. Bobby?
I agree with you. I don't like the way they've kind of promoted Bayley in this matchup. Again, rare drop by the current WWE regime. However, again, there's only so much you could do with as much stories that is going on at once. I think they're going to have a good match. I think Bayley's going to show that she's still reason why she's one of the 4 horsewomen. You know, people forget she's kind of like the forgotten child of it all.
The actual 4 horsewomen. Okay.
Yeah. The actual 4 horsewomen. But I think Bayley comes out on top. I think Bayley will win this match. I think she's earned it. I would find it odd that she wins the Rumble. They don't promote her. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know what the hell's going on. And then she just doesn't win the match. There's something off here. And the WrestleMania main event that I want to see is the 4 horsewomen: Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Sasha. I hope Mercedes Moné does great things in AEW. I get it. The money, the opportunity, especially with the talent that they have there. That's why, like, when wrestlers go to AEW, I was like, oh God, they're gonna get lost in the shuffle. But what's great about it is the opportunities there to get to wrestle guys from around the world. You know, guys that would not be in WWE. However, her home to me is WWE. She needs to find her way back, which I think she will, especially that Triple H is running it, because we're finally going to get that WrestleMania moment with these 4 women in there. They're going to tear up the roof. But for now, this is the match we got. I think they're going to do their best. I'm not overly looking forward to it, but I think Bayley comes out on top.
Justin?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I wanted to be more excited for this match than I did because, you know, I love Bayley and I love EO. I've been EO's one of the other people that I fell in love with during the NXT Black and Gold era. And I'm really happy that she's gotten the chance to shine on the main roster because I was really worried about that when Vince was under control. But and credit to Triple H and to Bayley for giving her and Dakota the chance to, you know, get elevated and to shine. And this build, it has not been as good as I was expecting it to be, especially because she won the Rumble, which is a big moment for Bayley. And it's unfortunate that, you know, I felt like at some point Bayley deserves to have a main event slot, you know, and unfortunately, you know, like with Rhea and Becky, unfortunately, because of other circumstances, and I get, you know, that match is what is going to put butts in the seats. That's not happening, but this should be a really good match. I also agree. I think Bayley's going to win this just because it would feel kind of like that, you know, after, because she's been outnumbered and beat down so hard during this feud, and, you know, it's like, because, you know, it made sense. I feel like things would have been different if Sasha had not gone to AEW and she came back to WWE because if she had come back, she would have taken Naomi's spot as like, oh no, hey Bailey, I got your back. It's like, because it's clearly Naomi was taking Sasha's place, because if she had come back, she would have been at Bailey's side during this whole thing. Hey, she made her choice, but also she made it clear that she said, someday I'm probably going to go back to WWE. She made it clear, it's like someday she's going to go back there because, so yeah, it's been a little disappointing build, but I still think it's going to be a good match. And also, it'll be a tough spot for them if they do put them second to last, because they're going to be wedged between two huge men's title matches. So hopefully that's not going to hurt them. But yeah, I'm going to go with Bailey as well, even though I love Io. And I also agree with Bobby that I believe that someday before they all retire, the Horsewomen are going to have a main event match all together at one point, because they deserve it.
They need to do it sooner than later just because of age, but yes.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
And unlike this is actually a positive shout out to the Photoshop of giving Bailey and Io the same hairstyle, or at least a hair color, to show that they were both part of Damage Control, but now they're fighting. So I just now noticed that.
Good call out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I didn't notice I did say it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just now noticed I was looking at it. All right, let's move on to the main event of all events. And for love of God, give him the belt that you should have gave him last year. Roman Reigns versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Now, I will ask you all and lead you off with this. On a scale of 1 to NWO versus X, how overbooked is this match gonna, or any Hogan match or Starrcade? How overbooked is this match gonna be?
1 out of 10?
Yeah, 10 being Starrcade, which made no sense on how overbooked it was, but how overbooked is it gonna be? At a
potential to be. You got to add the bloodline, and you got to add. There's some other guys that are there. I think this is 8 to 10. For me, 1 out of 10, 8 to 10. Look, I'm just gonna say, okay. I mean, we're here now. This is gonna be a fun match. These two are gonna put on one hell of a fat match. Roman is really good at false finishes where you think it's over. Oh my God, he's gonna freaking lose. Then all of a sudden, he pulls it out. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna try to do that, and they're gonna have it. It's gonna, because fans are gonna be at the end of the seat. They're like, everyone expects Cody to win, but with Roman Reigns and the way he's built this character, you can't expect a damn thing. Look, I think it's going to be early and often. You're going to see Jimmy. You're going to see Solo. You're going to see Rock eventually. If you see Jimmy, you're going to see Jay.
Yep.
Right.
You see Solo, you're going to see Cena. And Cena's not supposed to take any too many bumps. He's probably just going to do a pop. Get him out of the ring. Attitude adjustment, roll out.
Yep.
Rock's going to come in. Big, bad ass Hollywood Rock is going to come in. He's going to rock the out of Cody and Jay. Roman's going to be laying down on one end. Cody's going to be there on the floor, bloodied and battered. He's going to grab Roman. He's going to start to drag Roman. And then you're going to hear it. You're going to hear that glass shatter. Rock's going to go like this. Hey, it's going to be, and these two are going to be face to face in the middle of the ring. You're going to see thousands and thousands of flash bulbs. The crowd is going to go freaking nuts. The Rock's going to be sitting there doing this to his shoulders. I know everybody expects Triple H. Triple H, I don't know if they're going to risk it. I think he's going to take I don't think this is going to be Austin, Rock, one of the greatest feuds of all time. Rock's going to do this. Austin's going to do this. And they're going to start rocking out. Austin's going to do what he does. Stunner. Send his ass out of the ring. Up there. Cody. Roman get up. They wrap it up. Cody finishes it. 1, 2, 3. Crying in the ring. Holding on to that belt. Austin's laughing, walking off, drinking beer. Cody's going like this. You think it's over. Cody's getting the lightning, the whole fucking fireworks and all this. He's walking away. Roman is in the ring, bloodied and battered. Jimmy's getting up. Paul Heyman's like this.
Yep.
Rock has gotten up. Solo's up. Rock's looking at Roman like, he looks at him. He looks at everybody. Roman's getting up now. Roman's kind of like, The Rock becomes the head of the table. He will beat down Roman Reigns in the center of that ring. The bloodline will be destroyed. That will set up the long-term story of Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 41. This is my prediction. Roman, not saying Roman's going to be a face. I think Roman should never be a face again. You should never know if Roman's a face or a bad guy. I think he could pull that off, where he could be an anti-hero between the lines type of dude. But this could start to send him back to that balance. I think you're gonna have those guys. The bloodline's gonna be done, at least for a little bit. I just think The Rock. That's how The Rock's gonna set this up. Cody gets his moment. Cody wins his belt. Cody's celebrating, and then you're gonna have the turn at the end, and it's not gonna be Rock turning and helping Cody win the belt. It's gonna be Rock going, "Are you serious? You just lost to that? You lost to that punk?" And he's gonna take him out. That's how the night ends. It's gonna be an epic finish. Can't wait.
Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a page out of my favorite comedies all the time. This is Spinal Tap. I think the overbooking on this is going to go to 11.
Oh, you took my line, you asshole. I was getting ready to say that.
I couldn't resist.
Oh.
Because we know this is going to be under blood rules, because there's no question it's going to be, because they want to stack the deck against Cody as much as possible to make it seem like it's like that he's just not going to be. It's like it's just not possible, and the only way, and they've done a good job of this. It's like the only way that he's going to be able to pull this off if he has help to get the bloodline and the Rock, the rest of the bloodline, out of the way, so that he can finally take Roman down. Because they made it clear, it's like, and even though Roman tried to dispute it, he goes, like he said, he goes, "I had you last year. I had you dead to rights, and the only reason you won is because your cousin Solo bailed your ass out." It's like, I had you. It's like, so it's made it clear. It's like, without any of the bloodline shenanigans, Cody knows he can take him down. This question is, unfortunately, it's the minute he's got the wall of the family around him, and now it's even more epic now that he's got the Rock on his side for the time being. So, yeah, it makes sense that Jay's going to be involved. Maybe Seth, I don't know. Maybe what happens after the title match, Seth may not be able to help. So that it's like, or he's like too hurt. Yeah, no. It's like, and plus, there's that Easter egg where they really spent a lot of time focusing in on that truck behind Rock and Cody when Rock was beating the bejesus out of Cody that had Cena and Stone Cold's faces on it. Right. And they spent a lot of time making sure that was in the background while that was going on. And a lot of people said, that can't be a coincidence, including some people who definitely have true trackers to kind of like have some insider knowledge. And so that's when I was just like, and think about it also, besides Stone Cold, one of the other Rock's greatest rivals and nemesis is Cena as well. So, and plus, Cena's not only his history with The Rock, but also with the bloodline in the last few years. And of course, it makes total sense that he would be back because after what Solo did to him, I think it was at Crown Jewel, where he completely destroyed Cena, that he would get his Cena would get his payback by taking Solo out and get him off of Cody's back. And Stone Cold just makes perfect sense. I mean, like Bobby said, just imagine the reaction. It's like, that's going on. There's chaos, and Rock and Roman are just destroying Cody, and Roman's trying to pin him, and he's like he
keeps kicking out.
You're like, it's like, how much more can he take? It's like, and Rock and Roman are getting more pissed. Like, why won't this motherfucker die? And just when it looks like they're going to finish Cody off, the glass breaks, and the fans in Philly are going to lose their shit.
Yeah.
And like, the look on Rock and Roman's face is going to be absolute priceless because they're going to be like, what? No effing way. And how you can't resist Rock and Stone Cold face to face like that again and throw down just like the old days and not go for it. And it's like, who else would Cody turn to outside of people like Randy, Seth, and
DDP may be one. I could see DDP
Cena and Stone Cold. It's like I'll borrow a line. People said it'll be an Avengers Assemble moment where the legends come in to help. Like, no more of this bloodline bullshit. Cody is getting Roman all on his own so he can get it done. And because the thing is like at this point, the way this has been built, because I was wondering, I was like, man, are they gonna have Cody lose again to Roman? But with how everything that they've done with what the Rock's done to him, the beat down, and then the bloodline rules stipulation being in play, they're going to do everything they can to stack against him so that when he finally beats Roman for the title, it's going to be a cathartic moment for the fan base and for him that he was able to overcome all these odds and everything. The stack being completely stacked to get the deck being completely stacked against him to get it done and finally be the champion that the fans want to see him be. And it's like because they can't afford it's like they can't make the mistake they did last year. It's like so I was worried that Cody's momentum was going to get killed when he lost the Roman last year. And to their credit, they were able to keep it going where he's still so super over. Despite some of the questionable feuds, like with the Brock stuff and whatever, but they can't afford to do that again. It's because then the fans are going to be like, then they're not going to buy. It's like, what? You think they're going to be psyched when he tries to beat Roman for a third time after he's lost twice already? Right. It's like, and plus it's time for Roman to finally drop the title. Really, it's like, as much as he has been amazing in his role as the tribal chief and everything he's done while he's had these titles these last few years, it's gotten to the point where it's like you need to move to the next step. And then obviously they're building toward Roman and Rock for next year, that's about the tribal chief. That's about family. It has nothing to do with the title. So it's like you got to get the title off of Roman at some point because that's not going to matter when it's down to him versus The Rock. So it's like, I don't know if The Rock's going to turn on him here, but it's only a matter of time before. I think, obviously, if Roman loses this match, that's going to be the beginning of the cracks in the Bloodline Foundation that's going to build toward Roman versus Rock at next year's WrestleMania. And whether or not he's going to be a full face or a tweener, it's like Rock's still going to be the heel. I could totally see what he's talking about where like Rock, because like I think Roman's going to take a break from this for a while, and like Rock's going to be. I think they're going to do a Rock Cody one-on-one match. They can't pass that.
The SummerSlam Survivor, one of those major pay-per-views, they're going to do it for sure.
I can totally see it happening at SummerSlam, if either SummerSlam or in Saudi
in Saudi Arabia, yeah, for sure.
At some point in the next couple months, Rock is going to be like, all right, it's like, you son of a bitch. It's like you stole the title from my cousin. It's like you ruined everything. It's like, now you got it. It's like you thought, it's like you had it bad. I'm coming for you now. I'm going to take the title from you and bring it back to the family. And I don't think Roman's going to like that very much. I mean, they've already sowed the seeds where it's like he's become like the second fiddle to The Rock.
Did you watch the late night interview with?
No, I missed that.
Dude, watch it because you'll see that when he says, he goes, we have the tribal chief, and then we got the final boss. The little seeds he was planting here and there, and it seemed like purposely he was talking over Roman. He kept talking. Roman would go to say something. Rock would continue to talk, and yeah, this guy's doing his thing, and I'm doing my thing, and it's those little things, and especially this. Instead of going like this, you're doing this. Little bit of hints in here and there that are planted as seeds. And I'm not saying he's going to do it to save Cody. I love what they're building with Cody and Rock. It doesn't have to happen right away. Yep. Saudi, SummerSlam Survivor Series. It's telling you that Rock is not a false heel. He is a legitimate heel right now.
Especially after that beatdown.
Yeah, and remember before, and again, he was always that heel. It's not that all of a sudden he was a good guy and he's like, or the head of the table. You know, he didn't say that. He was, we didn't know he was the bad guy then, but they always knew you were going to come to this where these two were going to fight for the head of the family.
Yep, exactly.
It's going to happen soon, and I think it's going to happen night 2, the split between those two.
Yeah, so it's they cannot afford to have Cody lose again. It's like the fans will not will it's like they have a real danger of pissing off the fan base if Cody doesn't win this time. It's like this is it feels like they're finally going to pull the trigger, and I hope so, because there's a lot of people who are going to be really
but you know what? There's so, and Josh, forgive me, there are so many of us who are like, it has to happen. He has to win. Back in the day when nobody believed the stories and it's people just sat down and enjoyed what was happening. When their hero would lose, they're like, "Oh, come on!" and they would keep rooting for the hero to win. I don't think Triple H to Roman, and Triple H has said this before in the past. Roman, Triple H, Heyman, Rock, even Cody could give a shit about what the fans are, internet typing for. They know, hey, you know what? If Cody's gonna win, it's because it's great for the story to continue.
Yep.
Or if Roman wins, it's like, they know what the fan base is gonna say, but it's like I don't think they care. It's like that's why to me it's like I think Cody's gonna win this match. I think it's gonna win because of all the. There's no way he loses if Austin and so forth get involved. But I can't say if you said, is he 100% going to win? I can't say 100%.
Yeah.
Because they know we expect him to win. They know everybody thinks Cody's going to win, and they want Cody to win. They could totally say, F you, F this,
right?
Roman wins. And you're like, what the what the hell? This is what it is, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. I'll throw another wrinkle out. What I just kind of was thinking about. Who was the last person they just announced to be in the Hall of Fame?
Rock's grandma.
It's bloodline rules, right?
Yeah.
If you're inducting the patriarch, how much of the bloodline is going to be in Philly?
We just talked about Rikishi.
That's what I'm saying.
And there's another family member who just is off a contract somewhere. I'm forgetting his name right now.
It's one of the Fatus, right?
Fatu, yeah, one of the Fatus.
Yeah. So
hey,
I like when you were talking. That's why I was really wanting to use that freaking Spinal Tap line, because I thought with the bloodline and them. Now I think Rock inducting his grandma into. I think that has to do a lot with the Rock being on the board and TKO and stuff like that. So I think that was kind of like a last minute. Hey, let's just do this. And it goes along with it, so the Rock can actually say something at the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think that was kind of what they were going with, not really with the match, but I just thought like just to throw that out there. Cody's gonna, you can't miss twice when you aim. As Thanos said, you should have went with the head. Like you can't miss twice.
Yeah.
Right. And if he misses twice, I just don't know where you go with it, especially with Roman being on his 3 days a week, 3 days a year, thing. It just doesn't, it doesn't work unless they've worked something else out, which I just don't think there has. The only thing I will say, they've come out, John Cena really can't get physical, like you said, because he's basically getting ready to film Peacemaker yesterday, so he can't afford it. And then right after this, The Rock is filming his movie, so he's going to be, he might do like the Hollywood versus when he was out off filming stuff, and he would do like the vignettes and stuff like that with Hulk Hogan when he was Hollywood Rock.
Yes.
Which was still one of my favorite promos he ever did, where he was like yawning and stuff, and he was like, the vitamins, and like it was just really funny. But I think that the turn's gotta happen. I don't think Triple H is gonna be involved. I think they like to tease it, but he ain't gonna push it with that pacemaker. He almost died.
Yeah.
So
he can't get physical anymore, unfortunately.
No, he just can't. So I see this.
You run the risk of damaging Cody. if he loses again. You really do.
But you don't.
It's not a guarantee. Like I said.
Yeah,
It's like I'm just hoping that that they're finally going to pull the trigger this time.
You don't have your top workhorse, which Cody is. You don't have your top workhorse, and you saw that this past year when he lost to Roman, and then had nothing else to do because they didn't know what to do because Vince was the one that called that match. He did. He called it. Guess what? This is the first WrestleMania that Vince has nothing to do with. This is all Triple H's baby. And they said that Cody was supposed to go over last year. And then Vince was like, no, that's good shit. Or whatever he says. So where do you go from here? You have much more to do if Cody wins the title than if Roman retains. Because that feud between The Rock and Roman, while The Rock can make it, we're still going to have the Justin Toner rant after SmackDown of who gives a shit. Right? I just don't. Whereas Cody, he feuds with he feuds with Cody. He feuds with Roman. You still have stuff to do where you can buy into it. That's more of The Rock's going to draw, but if you really want to draw and you want to still make wrestling past to the moon, not just Everest, you do it that way. Because that's just what's going to make me excited. Now, that's just me being just me. But right. I just don't see where you go if Cody loses compared to the money you can make if he has it.
Because where's the top baby faces that can challenge Roman? There really isn't it because he's beaten everybody. He beat AJ, Randy, and LA Knight all at the same time in one match. So it's like, and it's like AJ's gone heel, so he's not a baby face anymore. He's out of the picture. They're not going to have Orton job to Roman after he just got back. It's like LA Knight already jobbed him once. It's like,
and it's the same match for 3 years. It's the same match. Roman gets in there, dominates, does the typical heel thing, and then it's like, "This is your guy. This is who you think's going to challenge me." Then they go at it, and then the bloodline comes in, and then Roman spears him 4 times, and then he wins. Guess what happens the next match? Another guy comes in, has a really great build-up, really great promos, all this fun stuff. Roman comes in, beats him down. This is your guy. The bloodline, and then bloodline comes in. He spills him 4 times. This has happened for like a year and a half. You've got to change it up a little.
Hopefully.
That's why I don't mind the overbooking for this match.
Yeah.
And why it's better for Cody to win, not because I want Cody to win, it's because I think it's a better moneymaker if he does with the feud you can do later with The Rock.
And how would you love the irony of that they have the bloodline rules, everything is in perfect place for Roman to stay champion, and it all falls apart.
Yeah. And
when they think that they got it in the bag.
And the night after Mania, I'm sorry, it sucked last year.
Oh, and that Raw was absolutely horrid, and that was because of friggin' Vince.
Right. And that sucked last year. And that was probably the worst Raw. After that, the Raws were like 6.5 to of course that last Raw was one of the best Raws I've ever seen with with The Rock beaten down. It was like 2 nights ago. But 2 Raws ago. But if you really want to make Raw after Mania work, Cody comes out with the title, then you have a big return. Who knows? Who cares what it is? The Undertaker can freaking come out. I don't care. But you at least can have a solid feud rather than Brock Lesnar, and that feud kind of sucked, even though that last match was pretty good. But you're going to have Cody move past it, and then I'd be excited to see the feuds that they do with that. But him having the title just makes more money making sense. That's where I look at it.
Yeah. I totally see it.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's like I just hope that he's gonna win. It's just not a guarantee. So you never know.
No.
So fingers crossed.
But I think Triple H come out and says the last thing you always want the fans to go home happy. He said that multiple times. Now, that being said, since Triple H isn't in the match and has a 30-minute slog, kind of drag out, me and Bobby talked about it. Every time we've talked about who should have been the main event, Triple H was main eventing. And we're like, yeah, that match would have been over, and it was Triple H in the main event, especially that like obviously me and Bobby talked about that Hogan Rock match, and it was in Triple H and Jericho, but typically on that. But yeah, we'll go with this. We're already at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Thank you all so much for hanging with us. I know it's late at night, especially on Justin's side, and me and Bobby and all of us, we got to work. We got our other day jobs, unfortunately. But, if you keep liking and subscribing, maybe we could just bring you content all the time.
Thank God I have a day off tomorrow. I don't have to
on that. But yeah. But anyway, Bobby, final thoughts on this amazing WrestleMania card, and I hope it lives up to the hype and what you've got going on in your channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in regards well, first off, thank you all for having me. This was great. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Justin, you were awesome. Josh, as always, is awesome. And I love everything about what you guys are doing. I love the graphics. Great kudos to the unsung hero in the back, the producer, for the work he is doing. But no, in regards of WrestleMania, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great for the family, great for wrestling fans like us three who grew up watching the business and watching how it's grown. And like you said, Justin, kind of stepping back and going, man, it's just it's not the same. It doesn't feel like, and where it is now you're every match, no matter what it was, you're going, man, that's kind of thrown together. You're invested in it.
Yep.
Wrestling right now, especially WWE, which obviously is the mecca of wrestling, but WWE right now is on the pedestal. I mean, what they've been able to do and what Rock has been able to do, Cody, what he's done since jumping back to WWE with what he did outside of WWE to build that character and have it transition over here to what he's been able to do. It's going to be an awesome weekend, 2 nights in a row. I can't foresee anybody leaving or turning off their TVs at the end of the night going, that sucked. I think no matter what happens, now, of course, depending on the main event,
right,
you might go, oh, that sucked. But I think you're going to leave WrestleMania night 1 and 2 saying, holy, we're back. Wrestling is legitimately back. Fitz Talk Sports Network got a lot going on. Obviously, the NFL draft is around the corner. We are Monday nights. We are covering the NFL draft. For about 3 weeks away. We'll be live. We've covered the draft 2 years in a row. This will be our 3rd year. We're on every day. Obviously, we are more of a Dolphins channel, but we cover all sports. Even we talk about the Buffalo Bills and how they traded Stephon Diggs and for peanuts and how they're going to be trash next year. But no. But we do have a wrestling show. We had a No Holds Barred show. That's kind of on hiatus right now. We do have Real Talk Wrestling with Josh Kimmel and Chris. You guys would like them a lot. They're awesome dudes. They're more AEW. But everybody's talking about WrestleMania right now. Who wouldn't? We got a new show premiering tomorrow. It's a show. It's called A Whole Lot of Nothing. It's a show about nothing with a little bit of everything. You have Finn Stanza.
I'm about to say, Finn Stanza wasn't involved in a show about nothing.
It is, yeah. It is. It's going to be Finn Stanza and Dahl. They are great together. They will be like this show here, going almost for we're 2.5 hours in. But it's going to be a whole lot of, it's a show about nothing, except for a little bit of everything. Of course, so you get your NFL content, Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, Panthers, sports, wrestling. You got East 10th Street Boys, which is everything. So yeah, Justin, Josh has been on there. You're welcomed. Go find us, like and subscribe. And I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And as far as our channel, coming to you every Thursday when me and Justin can. Typically, we're pretty consistent with it. Pretty much we're doing it at 10:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 Central. We kind of break down, go over news and the happenings. So probably next week, we'll probably spend a lot of time on WrestleMania and all the news that has come out of there. So we'll kind of do what we did before, just kind of do run down AEW real quick, and then go basically the breakdown of what happened with WrestleMania on that. But yeah, as we say, join the Ruckus here, ruckus.com/Patreon, RuckusEV / Patreon.com/RuckusEV. I always get dyslexic when I do that. and join, like, subscribe, obviously over in our Discord. We always are in there spilling the beans and stuff like that with all wrestling, sports, movies, all that fun jazz. And we will, and I can't wait for this WrestleMania on top of the Final Four at top of it. So I'm going to be exhausted at the end of this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Because you've got the women's Final Four is ridiculous. So we've
Yeah.
got a lot of sports and entertainment going on in this weekend. Then we got
Mhm.
the Masters, so we can take a nap but still watch sports coming up the weekend after that. And shout out Justin Thomas, Louisville native. I hope he wins that 2 weeks from now. But
Mhm.
yes, thank you all so much, Bobby. It was such a pleasure. Thank you
Yes,
so much
thank
for
you.
taking the time to join. I know you've got kids and everything, so the fact that you're able to spend almost 3 hours with us talking about this crazy business that we actually love and are just, it's in our blood. No pun intended with the bloodline stuff, but just something that we like so much. But thank you all else out there. Like, subscribe, all you all in the comments that have commented. Comment down below. Is this going to be the most overbooked main event of all time? I think so. And how are you going to throw something and break your window just to make the glass shatter when Stone Cold comes out? I'd rather you not make damage to your house, but if you do so, that would make sense to me. But on behalf of Ruckus Wrestling, Justin Toner, Bobby, Finn's Talk, I just like calling you that at this point. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Mhm.